Didn't listen to me then, I bet they feel me now. Don't let me lose it. The booth not about to prove it. I set goals and pursue it. You the best to never do it. Invest my money talking fluent, stupid, ducking the Judas. It broke my heart, but over my eyes, you have no honor, I have no choice. Chasing the commas till I'm gone. I've been left for a minute. On my way home, mama, I promise, got caught up in it. Damn. Everybody eats when I'm batting at the plate. First, second, third, home, $1 million base. Didn't listen to me then, I bet they feel me now.
What's up, people?
That Hotep Jesus dude.
Did y'all hear that?
That Hotep Jesus dude.
I was working on the audio yesterday. I know it was acting kind of crazy.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Hotep Jesus? I love that guy. He's terrific.
Shout out to my members. I see my members in the chat. What up, Kay? Kay in the chat. Who else in here? Montoya, what up? What up? I see y'all using the emoji. J.A. in the house. Shout out to my members. They got access to that exclusive emoji. Also, for my members, I dropped the link to the Zoom chat. We got the Zoom chat. Oh, shit. Zoom chat Saturday. I'll be there. Don't worry. So make sure y'all check your feed. Check your feed for that. So members, as you know, if you're a member of this channel, you get access to our Zoom chat. Our Zoom meetup that we do monthly with Uncle Hotep and the rest of the Hoteps. I'll be joining remotely. I bought tickets to a game. I want to take my boys to a game, football game. I bought tickets to a game this Saturday last night, not remembering I had to Zoom, but I'll still be able to participate. The member link, the join member link should be on this stream somewhere. Just look for the join button or go to my channel, look for the join button. It's right there. I'll be in Austin, Texas from the 25th to the 27th this month with the Syscoin team. It's going to be a great time. I'll be giving a speech. I'll be introducing Jag at the dinner. So that's going to be fun. Get to do my MC thing, something that I'm really good at. Shout out to the Syscoin team and all the people down in Texas. Shout out to Smart Money Check TV. Greetings from Houston, Texas. Shout out to all my Texas folk. Texas in the house. What the hell's going on with my hair? Oh my God. He's coming apart. Well, that means I'm just due for a tune-up. Hotep Con tickets on sale right now. HotepNation.com. Y'all coming to Hotep Con? Who coming to Hotep Con? I know Biden's America has been brutal. Hasn't left much funds for some families. But come hang out with us. 10% off coupon code Hotep Jesus. Coupon code Hotep Jesus. Hopefully, I'll see y'all there. We got a nice crowd this year. I looked at the tickets the other day, and we got a really good list of VIPs coming, so it's gonna be really fun. Really, really fun. Shout out to Jabari. Jabari in the chat. Jabari got them exclusive emoji. Oh, there's no join button on the phone? Tragic. YouTube's trash. I gotta be honest with you. Am I allowed to say that on YouTube? The Haram Life, welcome. He just became a Hotep initiate. Welcome to the program. I tried to make a post to my members only from my phone, and it wouldn't let me make a post to my members only. I updated the app, and this feature still wasn't there. It's like, why are you rolling out these features and not available on mobile? And it's like Rumble, doesn't, last time I checked, they weren't doing any super chats on iPhone. Mostly because they're worried about the money splits. I don't know. These tech companies make decisions. I don't know what happens in these meetings, so I can't really judge too much. Not my company, and I'm not being paid to tell them the solutions to these problems, so. Oh, well. Anyways, dive into today's feature presentation. Today, we're talking about Spot the DigiDog rolled out in New York, Elon Musk, and the Rainbow People. The Rainbow People have been hot on the timeline lately, and I actually wanted to play a couple of clips today surrounding the Rainbow People. But let's hop right into the Elon stuff. Pull this clip on the screen. Now, last night, Elon was in the Twitter Spaces with BBC, and people were like, "Oh my God, there's 3 million people in the Twitter Spaces with Elon talking to BBC," and I was like, "Yeah, I'm probably not going to tune in." Mostly just because I'm just, frankly, just not interested. Preferred to get some sleep than listen to the left do what they do. I was like, I'll just catch the clips in the morning. I'm not about to sit up there and listen to the BBC, who's really about to do that, interrogate Musk. And then, well, let's just dive into it. And you'll see what I mean by just unproductive conversation.
I would only just add that, we have spoken to people who have been sacked that used to be in content moderation. And we've spoken to people very recently who were involved in moderation. And they just say...
The people involved in content moderation.
There's not enough people to police this stuff.
That's true. That's true. That's another reason why sometimes people come to me, they want consulting or advice on their tech startups, and they come to me with social media ideas, and I'm like, good luck. You can miss me with that. I mean, just the infrastructure alone just costs too much, including content moderation. Like, who wants to sit there and stop all the dick pics and shit that comes through? Anyway,
particularly around hate speech in the company.
And then you gotta moderate hate speech. But we'll talk about hate speech in a second. Watch this.
What hate speech are you talking about? I mean, you use Twitter.
Right.
Do you see a rise in hate speech?
So they're about to do this whole conversation about hate speech. And the thing that I didn't see in this clip, maybe it's somewhere else in this interview. Like I said, I didn't listen to the whole thing. But what is hate speech? Elon didn't ask him to define what hate speech is, which makes me assume that Elon knows what hate speech is, or what this guy is referring to as hate speech. I don't know what hate speech is. I don't even know what that means. Is it speech that you hate?
Hotep Jesus? I love that guy. He's terrific.
What is hate speech? To me, hate speech is speech that you hate. It's a subjective thing. What is hate speech? There is love and hate in this world, and everyone should have the freedom to express both. If you're on a social media platform and you express hate speech, you should be allowed to do that. If it comes to calling for violence and organizing violence, I can understand the reason why you would want to moderate that, limit that, curb that, block that, suspend that. I could agree with that. We don't want people getting hurt. But what the hell is hate speech?
I mean,
But just a personal anecdote, like what do you? I don't.
personally, my For You, I would see I get more of that kind of content. Yeah, personally.
The For You tab was giving this guy that kind of content. You know why the For You tab was giving him that type of content? Because that's the type of content he was clicking on. That's the type of content he was looking for. If you're looking for something, you're going to find it. That's what my mom always told me. If you're looking for something, you're probably going to find it. And that's what I see here. That's what I see here.
But I'm not going to talk to the rest of for the rest of Twitter.
You see more hate speech personally.
I would say I would see more hate.
More hate speech? I mean, what do these leftists consider hate speech again? But still, like, when you say more hate speech in the Elon era, really what he's saying is there's more free speech. It's really what he's saying. He's saying is people feel more liberty to speak their mind. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I think that's a great thing. So if he says there's more hate speech on the platform, whatever he deems hate speech, I would agree. Because, again, to me, hate speech is speech that this guy hates. So if he hates that kind of speech, then he'll see it more. Because there's more free speech on the platform.
Hateful content in that.
Content you don't like or hateful? What do you mean to describe a hateful thing?
Yeah, I mean, just content that will solicit a reaction, something that may include something that is slightly racist or slightly sexist, those kinds of things.
So you think if something is slightly sexist, it should be banned?
No,
is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying anything. I'm saying.
Well, I'm just curious. So you think if something is slightly
something
hateful thing?
Wait. What?
Yeah, I mean, just content that will solicit a reaction, something that may.
Content that may solicit a reaction. Isn't that why people create content on social media, to solicit a reaction? Isn't that the point? That's the whole point, right? At least that's what I thought.
Include something that is slightly racist or slightly sexist.
The slightly racist thing, they're going to call everything racist, but whatever, but slightly sexist? What does that mean? Sexist. And what does it mean to be slightly sexist? I just had 2 videos get removed from TikTok. I'll play the audio of can I even play the audio since they suspended it? Let me see if I can. I don't even think I can play the audio from it. I have 2 videos. Yeah, it's not going to let me because it got removed. And it says hateful ideology. One of them was social media is destroying women. And the other one was what good is a woman that can't cook? Is that so I can't say that? I can't say that. See, what they want is they want control of speech. It's not really hate speech that they want. It's they want people to think like them. And as Orwell laid out in 1984, if you want people to think a certain way, you have to control their speech. So you have to ban certain types of speech and say you can't say that. When literally biology shows women are designed to nurture. They're designed to feed. When a woman gets pregnant, her mammaries, her bosom starts to produce milk. This is what happens. Starts lactating. If that's even the correct term to use. I don't know. My vocabulary's been terrible this week. So, why can't we have who gets to decide what's sexist? And that's what all this stuff, we're going to talk about the rainbow people. We're going to play a clip later, but who gets to decide what a sex is and what their role is? This is the design to create a homogenous society, to make everybody the same, so that, or create confusion, and so that you can't have a distinction between the sexes. Therefore, one hive mind, easier to control.
Those kinds of things.
So you think if something is slightly sexist, it should be banned?
No,
Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying anything. I'm saying.
Well, I'm just curious. I'm trying to understand what you mean by hateful content, and I'm asking for specific examples.
He is asking for it to be banned. I mean, if you're saying to him, my For You tab is giving me sexist content, you want the For You tab to downrank that stuff.
And you just said that if something is slightly sexist, that's hateful content. Does that mean that it should be banned?
Well, you've asked me whether my.
Somebody in the chat asked me, Hotep, can you do some streams on self-sufficiency and building financial independence? Don't nobody want to watch that. You guys want this trending topic stuff. That's what the numbers say. That's what the algorithm says. You guys don't want self-sufficiency and independent. Here's what you do. If you want that type of content, you become a member on my channel. And there's certain tiers, and we can actually, one of those tiers means you get to have one-on-one with me. And I will teach you the ways of the Hotep Jedi.
Feed, whether it's got less or more. I'd say it's got slightly more.
That's why I'm asking for examples. Can you name one example?
I honestly don't need.
Alternatively, we have classes. We got classes, Master Focus. If you guys are a client of Master Focus, we'll be rolling out classes soon, productivity classes. So if you're a monthly client of Master Focus, you're going to be invited to classes, and we're going to have classes on productivity and self-sufficiency and these sorts of things. So we do offer that, just not here on YouTube.
Honestly,
you can't name a single example.
I'll tell you why, because I don't actually use that for
Got to pay for that.
you feed anymore, because I just don't particularly like it.
But you
And
said
actually, a lot of people.
MTX Crypto said Men of Order got that content. menoforder.com got plenty of that. menoforder.com has plenty of that. Plenty. Go to menoforder.com.
A lot of people are quite similar. I only look at
hang on a
my
second.
following.
You said you've seen more hateful content.
Let's
You
go back.
can't. That's why I'm asking for examples. Can you name one example?
I honestly don't need. Honestly, I
You
don't.
can't name.
You can't name an example. You can't name an example. I can name examples of what I deem to be, or what I believe they might call hate speech. I log into certain platforms and I get called the N-word. I can come out and say that. I don't remember the exact tweet or the exact thing that was said. I remember I went on one platform and I mentioned how the Nazis during World War II were financed by Wall Street. And I guess modern neo-Nazis didn't like that too much. They didn't like the fact that, because, you know, these modern neo-Nazis, they practice anti-Semitism, and we know Wall Street had a lot of Semites in control of that. So the last thing they want to do is realize that their movement was financed by Semites. They're afraid of that, right? Because this is what they teach. They teach that Jewish people were running Wall Street. That's what they teach. So they can't teach that Jewish people run Wall Street and then admit that that same Wall Street was financing the Nazis. They don't want to admit that. So they called me certain expletives. I can remember that. That was last year. Why can't this guy show any examples or name any examples?
A single example.
Because they sent them in there to do a certain job.
I'll tell you why, because I don't actually use that for you feed anymore, because I just don't particularly like it.
But you
And
said
actually,
you-
a lot of people.
Now I agree with him there. That For You tab is trash. The For You tab is utter trash. I don't use the For You tab. The For You tab isn't for power Twitter users. The For You tab is for boomers, people new to the platform, and I think it's useful for new users, right? To help Because you got to remember, when it comes to technology, especially things like social media, you have an onboarding experience. And when you start diving into the data of what retains a user longer, what keeps a person on their platform, for example, on Facebook, and this was in the documentary, I think it was called The Social Network, they said that I believe if an individual followed 8 people, they stayed on the platform longer. So when you onboard as a new user to Twitter, it immediately tries to get you to follow a certain set of people before it releases you to the Twitter population, to the greater Twitter population, right? So there's an onboarding experience there. Some people don't do that. So it's like, well, how do you even serve these people content so they can start engaging and enjoying the platform? I remember I've worked with social media companies, and a new user would enter the platform, and if they didn't follow anybody, they're looking at a blank screen. And that's just not good. So we had to find some way to curate that experience. So For You tab is not for a power user. For a power user, it's pretty much trash. And that's just my personal opinion. If I wanted to be completely objective, I'm sure I could find uses for myself, and others and other power users could find uses for it. For example, if I don't want to search my feed and I just want to get caught up on what I may have missed, maybe I'll go to the For You tab. But I don't want to look at what I've missed. I want to look at what's happening right now. That's the power of Twitter. It's the Right Now app. I don't care what happened yesterday. I don't care what happened 2 hours ago. I want to know what's happening right now. What are people talking about right now? And I can go to the trending topic tab, or I can go to my timeline. Let's continue.
People are quite similar. I only look at
hang
my,
on a
my
second.
following.
You said you've seen more hateful content, but you can't name a single example, not even one.
I'm not sure I've used that feed for the last 3 or 4 weeks. And
Well, then how did you see the hateful content?
Because I've been using Twitter since you've taken it over for the last 6 months.
Okay, so then you must have at some point seen the For You hateful content. I'm asking for one example.
Right.
And you can't give a single one.
And I'm saying...
Then I say, sir, that you don't know what you're talking about.
Really?
Yes, because you can't give me a single example of hateful content, not even one tweet. And yet you claimed that the hateful content was high.
Well...
That's a false.
No, what I claimed...
You just lied.
What I claimed was there are...
He didn't lie. It was sent there. He had a meeting in the morning before he went and did this interview, and they said, look, this is what we want to press Elon on. And he came in, and he wasn't prepared. He's not lying. He's just not prepared.
Many organizations that say
Could be nervous, too. You're sitting in front of a billionaire.
that kind of information is on the rise. Now, whether it has on my
Give me
feed
one
or
example.
not... I mean, right, and
Literally
if you
can't
look at
name
something
one.
like the Strategic Dialogue Institute in the UK, they will say that. So
Look, people will say all sorts of nonsense. I'm literally asking for a
Right.
single example, and you can't name one.
right, and as I've already said, I don't use that feed. But
Well, then how would you know that?
I don't think this is getting anywhere.
You literally said you experienced more hateful content, and then couldn't name a single example.
Right, and
Yeah, Elon did ask for anecdotal evidence.
as I said,
That's absurd.
I haven't actually looked at that feed.
Then how would you know there's hateful content?
Because I'm saying that's what I saw a few weeks ago. I can't give you an exact example. Let's move on. We only have a certain amount of time.
Wow.
COVID misinformation. You changed
Amazing.
Now, this is the part where I'm going to part with Elon. I don't like how he handled this section of the clip, but I'll show you why.
You've changed the COVID misinformation.
Has
rules.
BBC changed its COVID misinformation?
So that response right there is the one I don't like, right? You go into an interview, you know the guy's interviewing you, and you want to answer a question with a question. Typical jousting, conversation jousting tactics, right? Answer a question with a question. Therefore, the conversation gets nowhere. Secondly, you're asking somebody who's unqualified to answer that question. And he's not qualified. He's just some dude that works for BBC. He's not one of the, C-level executives even. He's not a director. He can't answer that question. He's not an editorial director. He's not in position to answer that question. So I don't like that response from Elon. I like some of the responses here in this segment of the clip. But that right there, to me was an opportunity to really own this situation instead of trying to deflect it. And then he does a little bit better in a moment here.
The BBC does not set the rules on Twitter, so I'm asking you.
No, I'm talking about the BBC's misinformation about COVID.
I'm listening.
You see that awkward silence? So the dude can't answer the question because he's not qualified to, and if he does try to answer it, he's fired. So he's screwed either way.
Asking you about, you changed the labels, the COVID misinformation labels. There used to be a policy, and then...
So here, this is where I think Elon could have commandeered the conversation and said, A, B, and C about the pandemic. I could have gone 10 minutes on why I would change the labels of the pandemic, of COVID, of misinformation. I could have gone 10 minutes alone and really just dropped nuclear bombs. And maybe he did that, right in the rest of the interview. But again, we're only going off of 4 minutes of I think an hour and a half interview. But I'm not really going to listen to the whole thing.
It then disappeared. Why do that?
Well, COVID is no longer an issue.
And then he has to answer the question anyway.
Does the BBC hold itself at all responsible?
See, and then it comes back to this whole questioning, what about the BBC? It's like, nah, just tell the world the truth about COVID. Don't deflect to the BBC.
For misinformation regarding masking and side effects of vaccinations, and not reporting on that at all? And what about the fact that the BBC was put under pressure by the British government to change its editorial policy? Are you aware of that?
This is not an interview about the BBC.
Oh, you thought it wasn't?
I see now why you've done Twitter Spaces. I am not a representative of the BBC's editorial policy. I want to make that clear. Let's talk about something else. If you want to talk about the BBC, all right. Let's talk about something else.
You weren't expecting that.
That's one thing I wouldn't do is try to interview an interviewer. Except for the part that is more anecdotal, like specific to him, like where he said, I've experienced it. Okay, well, I will ask you about your own experiences, but I wouldn't ask an underling why his boss made certain decisions. Nah, I want to speak to the boss. Let me talk to the boss. So, the whole thing right now is, Elon scorched a journalist and everybody's like, yeah, great, da-da-da-da. And I'm just, frankly, just unimpressed. It's like watching Mike Tyson beat up a little kid. He's a meaningless journalist from the BBC versus a powerful billionaire who's obviously smarter than the guy. What am I celebrating about? Like, I would expect him to be able to own some rag journalists. Like, obviously. So I wasn't excited when I saw the clip. I was actually quite unimpressed. I'm unimpressed by this clip. I don't know why people were like, oh my God, this is great. Oh yeah. I think it's because the right doesn't get many wins. So when they get like half a win, if you can even consider this a win, they're wrapped up in elation. And I'm just like, all right, two dudes had a conversation and, one of them said the obvious. I'm hardly amused. You guys know me. It takes a lot to amuse me, to impress me. Just not impressed by a lot. And mostly because I've seen a lot. I've passed the age of 40. I'm a grown man. I pay bills and shit. Maybe if I was 20 or 30 or if I was desperate, I might, find some sort of joy in a clip like this. But it's just Elon talking to some journalist. And I don't really hold journalists to a high esteem. Now, if this were Elon and Mark Zuckerberg, I'd be like, wow, okay. This is an even fight here. And Zuckerberg was caught up, cat got his tongue. I'd be like, hey, this is interesting. But some dude from the BBC and then, you ask him questions, he's not prepared. If I like I said, I like the beginning of the conversation where he asked him things about his own personal experience. When you start asking him questions that he can't answer, I'm unimpressed now. You know he can't answer that question. But I think there's a way to get your point across without asking the guy that question. For example, he could have really owned this situation if he would have done something like, let's see here. I'll go off the cuff. So you mentioned we have changed the policy, the COVID policy on Twitter. And this is correct. And we've done so because COVID is over. And we know this because the president in the United States and the White House has issued that statement. They said COVID is over. Also, we understand that what is misinformation is quite subjective. What we consider misinformation is BBC.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Right there. You see how easy I was able to do that? And then he would have been like, oh, wait. I would have been like, you're an agent. I would have said to this guy, I would have said, you are an agent of misinformation. You are not misinformation yourself, but you are an agent of, you work for a misinformation giant. You guys lied to people. It is your bosses that lied to people about various pieces of information. This is how I would have handled the situation. I wouldn't have asked him nothing. Why would I ask an underling about his boss? No, I'm going to tell the underling what his boss is and what his boss has done. That's how personally I would have handled the situation. And I know everybody came here to the feed and they were hoping, oh, Hotep Jesus is going to tell us that Elon Musk is so great. He's all right. He's all right. I'm really not impressed by Elon Musk. I got to be honest. I'm not impressed by the guy. I respect his work. I respect SpaceX. I respect Tesla. I respect his decisions. I respect his work. But as far as Elon Musk, the person, I don't know what's so great about him. Every time I see him talk, I'm just like, okay. It's almost like Elon Musk, the person, and I know this is probably hard to do, but he could never be as great as SpaceX. Elon Musk, the person, could never be as great as Tesla. But I'm unimpressed because, look at how he handles Twitter. He comes to Twitter and, fucks it up. Excuse my German. It completely destroys it. He destroyed Twitter. All he had to do was buy Twitter and just leave it the fuck alone. Remove some of that leftist stuff out of the algorithm. The algorithm's still shit. But he screwed Twitter up. He screwed it up. First of all, he's the reason why Twitter is selling, is the reason why Zuckerberg is selling blue checks. Because they got the idea from him. And he started selling blue checks. That was a terrible idea. That was a terrible, terrible, terrible idea. Now he's like, oh, there's a difference between legacy blue checks and paid blue checks. There's no difference. We're going to combine them, da-da-da-da. And then it's just like, well, what's the point of it then? What's the point of the blue check? The blue check has always been corrupt, and now it's just worse. See, at one point, the leftists were guarding it. People were guarding it. They were selling it, da-da-da-da, selling access to it, da-da-da-da. But I always thought it made sense to give it to notable people, mostly because you don't want to get scammed. Right now, if you go on Instagram, it's like 25 Hotep Jesus accounts pretending to be me. How do you protect those people? You want me to pay $8 to protect people on your platform? I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. I'm not buying a blue check. I'm not buying a blue check. I'm not doing it. Fix the app. The DMs are trash. It's a terrible experience. The DMs are a terrible experience. We've been asking to fix the DMs. Now you got trolls with blue checks. You got trolls with blue checks. People impersonating other people with blue checks. Terrible, terrible. And even if you're going to do that, why would that be the first thing you do? Somebody in the chat said it was very profitable. Do you know how much Twitter made off of the blue checks? Let me tell you something. The amount of money they made is negligible compared to their debt. Negligible. Okay? Blue check is pointless now. Shouldn't even be there. Shouldn't even be there. I like how he changed the different colors. Okay, this is a media outlet. We do the square for businesses. Okay, I like that. Differentiation. That's great. But I gotta be honest with you. Like, the guy who's building Skynet, I'm supposed to be impressed by. I got to debate this Friday with Cyprian on AI. We're going to talk about that. But we watched all these movies about people putting chips in our brains, autonomous vehicles being controlled by a centralized government, and this is the guy that's building it. And we're like, yeah. I'm like, yo, I'm not cheering this dude on. I'm watching. You know, I like the Teslas. You know, if I had a Tesla, I'd also have a gas car, like one from the 90s. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, this fascination with Elon is ridiculous. I mean, Elon is the same guy who banned Kanye West from the platform and won't bring Alex Jones back. I'm not fucking with him, yo. I can't take him serious. What is hate speech? You over here, this is the guy defending his platform, saying there's no such thing as hate speech, but you won't let Alex Jones on the platform, bro? Why? Because you scared. Because you're scared of the backlash from somebody. This is way above my pay grade, but somebody influential enough has put fear in Elon Musk's heart to not bring Alex Jones back on the platform. He must be afraid of some media boycott, you know, all the media outlets leaving the platform or something like that. I don't know. Let's go to the next clip. I'm done talking about Elon, because once I start talking about Elon, it's just like, he's just annoying. He's just annoying. I'd love to have a conversation with him to really understand the guy. But, you know, when people idolize these people, I'm just like, why do you idolize these people? These people are not, like, that cool. It's not that cool. We're going to talk about the New York City robot dog, but first we're going to talk about this bot I found. I found a right-wing bot. I'm pretty sure this is a right-wing bot. Could be wrong. I'd like to be proven wrong. Jennifer Candle. So it says, drop a like and retweet and follow me if you stand with Riley Gaines. Wait a second. If we stand with Riley Gaines, we should follow you? Not Riley Gaines. Don't follow Riley Gaines. Follow me. That's like me going to the time and be like, hey, you guys love tacos? Nah, that's a bad example. You guys love Tariq Nasheed? Follow me. You love Alex Jones? Follow me. And it's just like, why? Why wouldn't I just follow them if I like them? Let's go into the account. First of all, let's look at this account. Let's go in and look at the profile picture. Your first, red flag here is the blurry profile picture. If you know anything about women, especially pretty women, the last thing they do is going to have a blurry picture. They will never post a blurry picture. They're just too vain for that. So that's that. Next thing, when you go to the media, everybody knows. Well, let's talk about the following ratio. If you look at the following ratio, he follows, or he, she, whoever follows 45,000 people and has 81,000 followers. Terrible following ratio. You're not following 45,000 people. Obviously, there's some sort of bot account that's doing follow for follow. And I'm not even going to go and do a look back on the history of this account and all of its old tweets. I can just look at this and tell. Secondly, if it's a pretty chick, she's going to have pictures of herself here. But that's not what we see. We see the typical drop a like and retweet and follow me if you're a patriot and you stand with President Trump. All right? So you get this tweet. Marjorie, MTG, same thing. Drop a like and retweet. Just farming. And look at the engagement on this. You mean to tell me this thing right here, this tweet got 20,000 retweets. 20,000 retweets? How, Sway? How? It's got to be boosted by bots. This tweet is not that influential to get 20,000 retweets. 2 million views on this? So it's getting bumped up by some bot farm. This one's got 4,000. This one's little Pence hate, Hunter, Trump, and that's it. This is all you see in the media. Now everybody knows every pretty chick gonna have a picture of herself in this media. In this media tab. So you guys gotta watch out, man, because all these bot farms, you know, they're gonna go around and look. Hey, see, so when you say bot farm, they circle and help each other. Look at this one, Amanda. All right, so here we got Amanda. It's obviously an AI generated image. All right, so you got right wing bot account. Look, following 49,000 people. Everybody see that, right? Following 49,000 people. Let's go to the media tab. And we're going to talk about this character in just a moment. Take the media tab. Same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is it. So a fairly newly activated account. There's another bot account. Social media influencer. I don't know who's running these things. I don't know if it's a person, it's an organization. But you can see they all circle jerk each other. And it's the same style. If you agree, drop a like and retweet this. So this is probably the same person running this account. And then I look, and actually, like, there's people I follow following this account. So, like, why? Why are y'all following this account? Why y'all following this account? It's got. I need an explanation. Very, very low quality account here. So I need y'all to watch out for these bot accounts. Nasty out here, bro. Absolutely nasty out here. All right, let's go to the next topic. I just wanted to show that to y'all. New York City got some robot dogs. I went on Twitter. I saw a lot of clips. I didn't find the press conference. So I went on YouTube to find a press conference. I got the press conference right here. Let's put that up on your screen. Let's go here. Let's create another. Actually, let's change this one and let's hide that one and let's bring this one on your screen here. Yeah, we're gonna do call-ins. Don't worry. And I don't mind being challenged. So if you guys want to challenge me, argue with me, I love arguing. In case you didn't know that, I love being challenged because that's how you grow. So let's go ahead and play the press conference from New York City. NYPD unveils robotic dog pilot program.
News.
Today, NYPD commission.
So apparently the commission's a black woman. So I just want y'all to just notice something about the infrastructure of New York. So I'm not gonna listen to her. We're gonna fast forward. So we got her, black woman. The mayor, we know, black man. And we got this other dude. So 3 black people are gonna be announcing, are a part of this announcement for the rollout of the robotic dogs. This is where the white liberal hides his hand, uses black people to carry out their deeds. I just noticed that. I'm just saying, if somebody can prove me wrong, please do. So anyway, let's go to see the mayor and the questions he took. Yeah, fair use and all that good stuff.
Didn't have a mayor that was a computer geek.
Right there, that's K5. You see the bot right there? It's a pretty big bot. It looks like at least 5 feet tall.
administration. What was the issue with the prior administration? Why it wasn't rolled out? And why it rolled out?
The prior administration didn't have a mayor that was a computer geek and that was willing to go where others are not willing to go to keep
This guy claims he's to be a computer geek, and that's why he's rolling this stuff out, because he loves technology. I'm not going to say it's not the truth.
the city safe. I made it clear on the campaign trail. I am going to use technology with transparency to keep this city safe. And others just don't.
Yo, we got 165 people watching, only 74 likes. Let's get those likes over 100.
Weren't willing to do that, and I am.
Hi, Mr. Mayor, how are you?
Kimberly?
I'm gonna beg to differ with you on a few loud voices when it came to Digidog. There were many folks in the communities that were concerned about Digidog. So on the back end of this question,
Oh, this is the lady that is said the community is concerned about these bots.
to kind of calm people's suspicion of the device and
Suspicion of the device.
ensure that being transparent, that it's going to be used for what you're saying.
Well, first, this is New York, 8.5 million people, 35 million opinions. So no matter what you do, there are going to be pros and cons. We are doing
35 million opinions. The only one that matters is the left's.
what others didn't do. We're putting it right here in Times Square. We're allowing people to come in and look at.
He just basically said, you know, yeah, there's 35 million opinions. We don't care. That's basically what he said. She said, hey, there are residents here who have suspicions of the bot. And the mayor, Mayor Eric Adams, doesn't address those questions. He's a politician. They're great at dodging questions. They're great at dismissing things. And what does he say? What does he say? There's 35 million opinions. He's basically saying, I don't give a fuck what their opinion is. That's what he's saying. I don't care what their opinion is.
Digidog and K5
Digidog and K5 are coming anyway.
and others. And we're going to bring in community leaders and say, here's the technology that we have. Would you like this in your community?
Would you like this in your community? The answer is no.
Allow them to talk about it, hear about
I don't want the Digidog nowhere near me. I don't want the Digidog nowhere near me.
it, share their ideas. And then in those situations,
Especially not no police dog. The only way I would trust some sort of bot near me is if I had a programmer I trusted who thoroughly scrubbed the thing and jailbroke it for me. And even then, I'd be looking at this thing like, yo, one wrong move, you catching this 223.
where you can't have police officers going inside because it's dangerous. This Digidog actually de-escalates situations.
The Digidog's name is Spot. Thank you. That's the dog's name, Spot. You know, they try to make these things more personable and likable.
So this is a great way to use technology. If you have a barricaded suspect, you have someone that's inside a building that is armed, instead of sending police.
Yo, who was that dude, that police officer? Was it Dorner? Was it Dorner that they sent the police dog in for? Or it was a robot? I'm pretty sure there was a robot they used to go get Dorner. You guys remember that? It wasn't this robot. It wasn't Digidog. They used some robot. So, for hostage situations, I'm not saying I like the idea of this Digidog. I understand the uses of it in a hostage situation. Completely. If my, like he's going to use as an example, you know, if your family member was in there, you'd want us to use the Digidog. You're damn right. I'd want you to use the Digidog to get my family out. Absolutely. But that doesn't make the Digidog good. I'd want you to use every tool at your disposal to secure my family. That doesn't make the tools great.
Officers in there, you send Digidog inside there. So these are smart ways of using good technologies, but we are rolling it out and giving people the information.
He said it was one of those bomb defuse bots. Yeah.
They need.
To their folks in their communities, and there's still a little suspect
No, DigiDog is out of the pound. DigiDog is now part of the toolkit that we are using. And
he said, look, we pulling out DigiDog. We don't care what you say. It's here, and we're going to use it. That's what he said.
trust me when I tell you this, if a person has a loved one that is in a hostage situation, they want a digi-dog, a real dog, and anything else they can get to keep their family members safe. We are leaving no stone unturned to protect New Yorkers.
But how often do you have a hostage situation like that? How often does that happen?
Last question on K5.
Leave the digi-dog in the closet until you have a hostage situation. We don't want to see that. We don't want to see it. You know what the digi-dog is? It's a surveillance mechanism. It's a big brother. Shout out to Wazo AI, WazoAI.com. That's what it is. It's a surveillance tool, and they admit it.
Marshall Kramer.
They did a terrible job on the audio with this too, but it's okay. In this part of the clip, they're going to talk about Trump. So she's basically saying that Republicans are coming, if I'm hearing her correctly, Republicans are going to come here and say the digi-dog's not safe. Or New York City, I'm sorry, the Republicans come here and say New York's not safe and potentially digi-dog. I don't know. Let's just listen.
You know, one should do an analysis of per capita public safety. The same Republicans who are coming here talking about the safety in New
Heather Barnett says facts.
New York, where crime is going down, shooters and homicides are going down because of the plan the commission has put in place. Those same districts, crime is increasing per capita.
So one thing a politician is always going to be trained on is deflection. So he's not going to actually answer the question. He's just going to say, hey, what about them, right? What about it? Whataboutism is part of the politician's religion. What about them? Whataboutism.
So, you know, I think this is a moment where they should do a reflection in their own demographics. Those same people that are talking about the crime in New York per capita, they are going up. They're increasing. And so why are they here? They should be.
I don't know if you can compare the statistics per capita of any other city in America to New York City. I don't think you can do that. I think it's unfair. I think if you're going to compare violence per capita, you'd have to do it with like population numbers. So if this city has the same number of people as New York City, then we can compare the two. But comparing, you know, for example, if we have two people in a room and one of them's violent, we have a 50% violence per capita. But if we spread that out and we said there was 100 people and there's only one person, well, it's 1%. Right? So if you have smaller groups of people and there's a spike in whatever statistic or whatever metric, you're gonna get different results.
Holding a hearing in their municipalities to deal with the issues there.
So is it a political stunt?
No, I clearly.
She asked if it was a political stunt trying to make New York look bad.
Think that this.
And just for copyright purposes, I have to always pause the video.
This is put on place by Donald Trump campaign committee. You know.
Now this is pure speculation. Listen to the speculation he says right here.
No, I clearly think that this is put on place by Donald Trump campaign committee.
I think. He didn't say he had any proof. He just said, I think this was put in place by Donald Trump's campaign. That's what he thinks. Now, keep in mind, nobody mentioned Trump, but he does. The grift is filthy out here, man.
You know, listen, this is not about public safety. We're trending in the right direction. Their districts are trending in the wrong direction. So they come to New York City. New York City is trending in the right direction. Now, it's quite possible that they come into New York to sit down with the commissioner so she can show them some of the things she's doing to bring down the crime so that they don't continue to see the spike in crime in their locations.
So now they're going to go into the demonstration of the bot, and he answered enough questions. But real fast, you know, while I was listening to him, I was trying to think about crime in New York City and why it is that way. And it's just weird to me that when people think about crime, they think about it in a very short-term sense. They don't think about it long-term. They don't think about what led a person to a life of crime or to commit a crime. They don't think about that. So there's, you know, it's sort of like Western medicine versus Ayurvedic medicine, or Western medicine versus preventative or Eastern medicine. You know, Eastern medicine's all about taking things that prevent diseases from coming about. America doesn't do a good job in preventing diseases. They just medicate you after you get them. And that's their same approach to crime. They don't think about how we can prevent crime or how can we prevent people from falling into a life of crime. They want to put a Band-Aid on it. They want to medicate it. And then they'll do that with these dreadful looking robots. This robot's ugly as shit, by the way. That's an ugly ass robot. The one on the left reminds me of that video game Watch Dogs. Anybody ever play that game Watch Dogs? I love Watch Dogs. I love playing Watch Dogs. To me, that's what the future looks like. And you gotta remember, these are like, they're not version 1 bots, but they're version 1 bots. Like technically they're not version 1 bots, but as far as the rollout in police, this is like the first rollout, right? So this is V1. V2 is definitely going to be autonomous flying drones. One of these versions is going to be armed. I had this conversation before about war, and they said, with Uncle Hotep actually, on our Thursday show at 8 p.m. You know, he said, you know, how can the United States fight a war when they got all these tea people and rainbow people joining the army and we're soft? And I'm like, war is not about to be fought with people, man. They sending K5 and DigiDog out there, bro. They not fighting wars with people anymore. They barely fight them now. We got drone programs. We've had drone programs for over a decade. The only reason why the United States puts boots on the ground is for intelligence gathering and communication. It's the only reason why boots are on the ground. Or for, you know, SEAL team missions, small groups of individuals who need to go in and infiltrate a compound or something like that. The dogs aren't really well equipped for that yet. So no, the future is armed robots, Robocop. I think the first weapon they'll be armed with is the taser. That's the first weapon it'll be armed with, is a taser. And we're going to talk about the rainbow people after this. Then I'll open up the phone lines. They got the robots spinning around and whatnot. Now, like I said before,
this is breaking news.
I have a debate this Friday on AI with Cyprian, and I hope he brings up the bots. Because if he talks about the bots, the robots, then I would definitely be in agreement. You know, these things are coming with artificial intelligence, and that is just. Let's just go to the next topic. Let me pull this up. Hold on. Where we at? So we'll start here. Let's start here. Y'all seen this? Have y'all seen this?
Even beer cans are celebrating transgenderism. Bud Light has just released a commemorative can. His name is Dylan Mulvaney.
Fuck Bud Light! 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 If you gay, just be gay in your...
So, there's a Bud Light song now. First of all, I blame Bryson Gray for this. Bryson, this is your fault. You're the one that started this MAGA music genre. You started this. Now you got people out here in a full MAGA sweatsuit. I didn't even know they had MAGA sweatsuits. Where'd you find a MAGA sweatsuit, bro? I need one.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
First of all, this song is great. You know me. I'm going to be objective. The recording quality is high quality. They did a really good job on the mix. I think they did a really good job on the production. They did a really good job on the songwriting. So let's put that aside. Good job on being artistically good, right? Now, creativity-wise, this is what we doing, y'all. You know, this reminds me of, what is it? Is it the Streisand effect? Is that what it is? I think this is the Streisand effect. Where, like, you want to, like, destroy a company, but at the same time, it's like you're promoting them. So now I got to pull up this Mike Cernovich tweet. Y'all got me pulling up Mike Cernovich tweets. Lord have mercy. Feels like 2016 again. Let's pull this up. Let's try and find it here. And again, I don't know how accurate this is. Let's see if we can find it. Let's see here. I'm gonna have to type in Bud Light. I think it's him that I saw the tweet from. Yeah, this is it right here. So, some people will say Bud Light took a hit. According to Wall Street, or this article, it says Anheuser-Busch stock charges to new highs. Through April 7th, Anheuser-Busch shares had fallen in 4 straight sessions, but by a total of 0.63. The stock ticked down on Monday, lowered by 3% at last glance, but the slip came after a 10-day win streak, which vaulted Anheuser-Busch stock to 52-week highs. Right? So some people will say this dip here is because of the Bud Light deal with that guy, right? The guy that doesn't know who he is. You know what I think? I don't think any of that is true. I don't think the rise has anything to do with him. I don't think the fall has anything to do with that kid. I really don't. And then let's go back. 3%. So what was... So it says through April 7th, it was 0.63. Like, this is really, like, minor, right? What is it trading at? It's trading at, like, $63. Let's look at the chart. Let's pull up the chart. Let's look at a 1 month chart here. Now, people that have you believe that, let's pull this up. And let's put the dates in there just to make sure we get here. People that have you believe that this dip right here is because of that campaign. It's a hell of a dip. And it looks like a correlation. It looks like a correlation. This is about the time that they do the deal. Right? Like right here. Can I make edits on this? This is about where they make the deal. But we're talking about, like, what is that? How many points is that? What is that decrease? That's like 2 points. It's a 2-point decrease. It's up 6% on the month. So that's the other thing. It's like, if it's up 6% on the month, how do we know this isn't just a correction? And look where it came from. Look back here. Now keep in mind, this is a 1 month chart. So on the month, it was going up. How do we know this isn't just a correction? Because it was trading at 59. Let's do a 3 month look. Hold on. Come on. Work. All right, this is the 3 month chart. Let's look at the 3 month chart. This is the 3 month chart here. So it was going up. Is the wokeness the reason why it's coming down? Maybe. Or maybe it's just a natural correction. I don't know. Here's my issue. All that put aside. Keep in mind, I said, I don't know. I'm skeptical, but I don't know. Maybe the dip is because of the woke program. But now, like, you're promoting them. We're making Bud Light commercials now. Look at them. They're all like holding Bud Light cans. Oh, they're gonna pour it out. I don't know. Maybe it's productive, because I have a video out where I was burning my Nikes. So maybe I was an idiot too, where I was actually promoting Nike when I was burning the Nikes, making my statement. Right? So I look just like this guy once upon a time. If you guys look in the street, you'll never see me wear a pair of Nikes on my feet. You might catch me with some Nike socks because, you know, I got aunties and shit just buy me socks. And I don't buy myself socks because I get packs of them for Christmas every year. But I don't wear Nike generally. Especially not on my feet. You'll never catch me in a pair of Nike shoes. I don't like the monopoly they have over the black mind, the black community. It's like black people can't live without Nike. I hate that. It's just really stupid to me that, like, black people complain about racism and then, like, they can't live without Nike. And I'm like, you know, Phil Knight don't give a shit about you. All he wants to do is make profits off your son. But I don't know, you know. Like I said, this is the new grift. Like I said, I like the song. The song's dope. The song's cool. But I just don't know if this is it. Now, on the same topic, let's go to the next video, because this all ties together. Here it is right here. Let's put this on your screen.
Arrogance of the Americans, the bulliness of the Americans. Let me even throw it on the west side. America right now comes to Tanzania, comes to Ghana, comes to Zambia with 16 million. And guess what? 16 million only for Zambia. The 16 million, ask me, what is it for? What is it for? For human rights.
That's 60 million for human rights. I told y'all colonialism comes in the form of pronouns now. They don't sprinkle bombs on nations anymore. They sprinkle pronouns on nations now.
Across the river,
the pronouns are much more effective.
China and Russia coming to South Africa, asking me for what? For what? For a military training. And
so Russia and China investing in military training in Africa, obviously because they want allies militarily.
Skills sharing of security. So the Americans are more interested in a transgender homosexual agenda around the world, they will invest their money and give you money to protect human rights.
Somebody said they waking up. They was never asleep. What are you talking about? They were never asleep. You think Africa don't know what's going on?
Russia and China are coming with weapons and militarization strategies so that we can protect ourselves. So I want to say this very loud and clear to the Americans. Continue on your transgender agenda. Stay there. Leave us to do politics on the other side. Because what we need right now is not a minority human rights activation.
Shout out to Eric Santos, just became a member. Trish, you tell these people nobody's sleep. Can you tell these people Black America is not sleep? Please tell these people.
What we need is a societal transformation. And for you as Americans to think that we really envy that when you have an anti-lesbian, anti-gay, LGBT principle, then tourists will drop. Let me correct that once and for all.
So basically saying, like, I'm gonna let him, I don't want to misconstrue his words. Let me listen again.
Envy that when you have an anti-lesbian, anti-gay, LGBT principle, then tourists will drop.
Yeah, he did say what I thought he said. So he said anti-gay, anti-LGBT. If these are your principles, then you won't have as much tourism. Tourism will drop.
Let me correct that once and for all. And the curtain.
Really what they're saying is they haven't allowed Africa to have much economic stability outside of tourism. When we look at many of the third world countries like Jamaica and parts of Africa, you know, a lot of their income comes from tourism because they're just not allowed to. I don't know who Royce White is, yo.
Clip this, and it must be loud and clear. Are you saying to me that all the tourists are gay? And when you hear that, this is a non-gay zone, tourism will suffer. Question number one. Question number two. Are you saying that we don't have a right to expressing ourselves?
Are you saying we don't have the right to express ourselves?
As Africans. Question number three. If democracy means majority rules and majority votes against a principle, then why won't you allow that to become law?
That's a great point. That is a very, very great point. Because that's the thing that politicians like to say. We want to bring democracy around the world and promote democracy in these various nations. But like he said, democracy means the majority votes and chooses. When America says democracy, really what they're saying is colonialism, control, or communism. We are exporting communism. That's really what they're saying. They're saying we're going to come and you're going to do things our way. This is infiltration, okay? That's really what they're saying when they say democracy. But he makes a great point. Because if the majority of people in an African nation say no, America's going to come in and say, well, that's not democracy. That's oppression. And we're here to fight for human rights.
Are you saying the minority must manage the majority, or the majority must manage the minority?
I like that point too. He said, are you saying the minority should manage the majority? Because that's what we see in America now, where the minority are making the decisions for the majority. We saw that with the pandemic. We're seeing that now with the rainbow. This small group of people is starting to have so much leverage in how we live our lives. This minority group has it so that when you create a LinkedIn account, you got to put pronouns in your bio. And if you don't put pronouns in your bio or the signature, your email, now everybody thinks you're some evil Nazi. This is the minority controlling the majority. And, you know, it's in Russian, they would call it a Menshevik, but it's very much Bolshevik tactics. But again, I've always said this, that communism is the exploitation of minority groups. They take the plight of the minority, they inflate it, and then exploit that group and their struggle in order to centralize power within the hands of the few.
That if that whole ideology is wrong, then take democracy in a nice black dustbin bag and throw it outside. Because what you are telling us is by the people, for the people, with the people, and all those slogans you hear, what democracy represents. If we are 10 in the room and 9 people say no, and one person says yes, democracy says you go with the majority?
Yes.
So if we say we want to make Africa democratic, and the demographics of our democracy says no, then why do you philosophically want to manipulate the will of the majority?
Bars.
To favor the will of the minority. Then this is where it really gets confusing to me. Because you're selling me one thing, I understand this democracy, because it is based on the principle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When it comes to practice, no, you can't practice it like that.
You can't get over on Africans, yo.
Then what do you want? Do you want democracy? You want anarchy? You want indigenous governance systems? You want meritocracy? Maybe let's find another way of governing ourselves. But the ideology of democracy being founded on majority rule does not count. Because the rule that runs the South African constitution right now is not majority count. I will go on record for being on your show and saying it loud and clear without mixing words. Put 100 people on an island and lock them away from everybody. Put 100 people on an island who are heterosexual. Those are homosexual. Come back after 50 or 20 or 30 years. On that island, you'll find graves with no living being there. On this island, you'll find 10,000 people.
Now, this hypothetical scenario here is one that I'm a fan of. I think if you live a certain lifestyle, we should just give you an island. You should go like live on Alcatraz or something like that. Like we should find an island where all these people can just go to. You can go be weird over there.
Growing and exploring and moving. So having said that, we as a society,
I just think it's, you know what it is it's not even the entire rainbow community, to be honest with you. Because the gay people I talk to, they hate the agenda. They're like, yo, this is terrible. This is stupid. I've spoken to gay people. They say, yo, I wish I wasn't gay. They said they feel like they was cursed. Or they say, they say things like, it's not right. I've heard gay people say that to me. And that's neither here nor there, but, and obviously one person doesn't speak for the group. I think my issue is, for example, what if I came out and said, yo, we need rights for all black men with big dicks? Pause. Hey, y'all got to respect my dick. Respect my dick. RMD, that's the new movement. Respect my dick. People be like, what the fuck are you talking about? I like women with big bosoms and big asses. We need rights for men who like women with big bosoms and big asses. And we need rights for that. Like, you'd be looking at me like, what? What are you talking about? You sound crazy. Like, nobody cares what you do in your bedroom. Nobody cares what you would do in your bedroom. We don't care. Like, that's private stuff. Shit is weird, bro. That's the weird part to me. That you have to shove your lifestyle down other people's throats. And you keep talking about all these rights for these people. Rights for the tea people. Rights for the tea people. Right? Yeah, respect the peach. Like, what? Like, what rights don't you have? The right to infiltrate women's spaces? Because that's what this is. That's what all this is about. It's about bathrooms, using a woman's bathroom, and playing women's sports. That's what this is about. You don't have the right. And here's, the other day, we're going to come, actually, let me pull this tweet up. Hold on a second. We're going to come back to this video in just a second. I just want to find this. This is just absolutely ridiculous, man. And, I mean, like, talking on this topic, but sometimes you got to. So, we got this broad right here, Megan Rapinoe. Now, we know she's an old woman. She had the end of her career. And they got a letter opposing the Protection of Girls and Women in Sports Act. Right? Because her allegiance is to the rainbow. It's not to women. They will purport that it's to women. Shout out all these devices and widgets on the webpage. So what does it say here? So this is, so, you know, you would say with feminism, you would want protection of girls and women, right? And they sent a letter. Athletes believe the bill wouldn't protect women in sports, but rather exclude women and girls from getting mental and physical health benefits. What? And I hadn't looked at the bill, but sometimes when you look at these bills, it's just like weird stuff in there. We believe in gender equity in sport is critical, which is why we urge policymakers to turn their attention and effort to have been fighting in decades, including. Okay, so equal pay. This is what I want to talk about. Equal pay. End abuse, mistreatment, uneven implementation of Title IX, girls of color, girls with disabilities. Our deepest hope is that the T community and intersex kids will never have to feel isolation. The Biden administration's proposal to forbid outright bans on T athletes drew scrutiny last week. So my point is this. They complain about something called the wage gap, the gap between women and men in sports. Now, if a biological male transitions into a woman, how do you calculate that wage gap?
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
How do you calculate that? How do you calculate that? She's at the end of her career. She's going to be moving into politics and being an influencer and shilling socialist stuff and whatnot. That's what she's going to be moving into. So she's preparing that. And I've seen people say that. And I think that's a very good take. But it's not about protecting women. It's about allowing males into women's spaces. This is the patriarchy. And people be going along with this stuff. Let's come back. Let's come back to my homie.
Particularly as African society, we also as traditional people have a right to our self-preservation. And
yeah, you have a right to your self-preservation.
Continuity as a people. Alternative lifestyles must be practiced where they must be practiced. But the main agenda of societal drive must be left to the right, because even those that are on the left come from the right. I don't know if that makes sense to you. The conversation that we had for the same-sex marriages.
Let's go back to that. I like that point he made.
Our drive must be left to the right, because even those that are on the left come from the right. Particularly as African society, we also as traditional people have a right to our self-preservation and continuity as a people. Alternative lifestyles must be practiced where they must be practiced. But the main agenda of societal drive must be left to the right, because
yeah, I agree with that. There is everybody has their preferences and groups have their preferences on how they want to live their lives, but the greater society has a certain way that they want to steer the state. And in many ways I would agree that that's true. You know, and they have a right to steer the state in that way.
Even those that are on the left come from the right. I don't know if that makes sense to you. The conversation that we had for the same-sex marriages was very tricky for me, because it did not seek to address the core issue. Are we saying this is what the people want? Or are we saying this is what the international community wants?
Right. Is this what the people want, or is this what the League of Nations want?
Point number one. Point number two, in the event that I decide as a heterosexual that I want to bring up my children in a heterosexual way, why does the homosexual want to stand on the path?
That's my point. That's my point. If we live in our lives the way we want to live our lives, then you bring your old fruity ass and stand in my way. That's my point. They're just so flagrant.
Of my own.
And let's just continue.
On children and how I want to institutionalize them. And then pollute them with what they want. If you want to pollute these children, make your own.
If you want to pollute children, make your own. Can't agree more.
Why come to the heterosexual and then dictate the ways of the homosexual? So who has got the right this time? Are you saying the rights rely with the homosexual or the rights rely with the heterosexual?
Right. Who do the rights rely with? Damn, we just had some memberships get gifted out. Sauce the Prophet was gifted a membership by K. Joe Ham Sandwich was gifted a membership by K. Wilmar was gifted a membership by K. And Phil the Kill was gifted a membership by K. Oh, my Lord. Welcome, members. Spam the chat with them Uncle Hotep emojis. Let's go back.
Balance need to be found right there. That every citizen has got the right to life and decide how they want to run their lives and how they want to bring up their children, etc. And so ultimately we might end up with an Urania. Let's create a state where this can happen there. And those who want to live in this other space, they can move into that space. And we are free to choose to change.
It's a very deeper conversation.
But,
and also especially
and we're giving it the time it demands. We're giving it the depth of thought that it demands. So that in the midst of just saying human rights, we don't become emotional over protect gay rights, protect heterosexual rights. Because when you protect homosexual rights, you also need to become respectful of the heterosexual. And when you're promoting heterosexual, you also need to protect the homosexual.
Yeah, I believe in protecting all lives. I don't think anybody should be attacked, abused, bullied based upon how they identify. And we've said this before in the Hotep community, like they like to conflate their struggle with the black struggle. And everybody in this world has a struggle, whatever it may be. But you can't conflate the rainbow struggle with the black struggle because you can control how you look. I can't control that I'm black and liberals look at me like a pawn. I can't control that. But if you're gay, you can definitely control how you look. I'm not saying you should. I mean, if you want to come out here and you want to look like a circus clown, you should be able to look like a circus clown. But to say like there's this like gross homophobia, like nobody cared when Prince was out here dressing like a, a woman or a flamboyant. Or he just listened to his music and enjoyed his music videos and he was a cool dude. Like nobody questioned Michael Jackson. The black community wasn't questioning Michael Jackson. We wasn't looking at Prince like, these dudes is a little sweet. He might have had jokes here or there, but the black community got jokes on everybody. But we weren't canceling Prince because he dressed a little feminine. We didn't give a damn. He was putting out good music. He was an entertainer. He was putting out good music. Michael Jackson, he was entertaining. He put out good entertainment. If you do something, that's what we want. What is your contribution to life? These people have no contribution to life except to complain. That's all they do is they complain, and then they try to replace the black struggle with their struggle. I'm not here for it. You can control what you look like. You cannot control being black. Unless you want to start bleaching and shit looking like Sammy Sosa. Anyway, we're going to open up the call lines. 202-596-5631. 202-596-5631. Let me open my phone up here. 202-596-5631. Let's go. Oh yeah, I got to pull it out first. Pause. And then I'll read some super chats. Here we are. Haram Life, welcome to the program. He's now a member. Jonah Ryan, Streisand sued because 16 people saw her house, causing thousands and thousands to look. Yeah. Jonah Ryan, don't forget its grandfather was president of the largest bank in the USA at the time it occurred, U.S. National Bank in San Diego. The rest, I don't care. Eric Santos, welcome. Joe Music, 931. We need Unk to match your grift and become a grift Super Saiyan. Academics got the Rumble deal. What about the Hoteps? I think you're talking about, because Rumble's got the exclusive deal. I know they just signed Academics, like you mentioned. They have exclusive rights to the GOP, the first GOP debate. So Rumble's cutting checks, man. They're cutting checks. As far as Rumble signing us, I like to speak things into existence. That would be pretty cool. If they came to me and said, yo, we want you to get off YouTube and go exclusive to Rumble, I'd do it. They cut me the check. I'd do it. I don't particularly like YouTube in the first place, but I don't think they will. I don't think we're their cup of tea. Rumble. If you look at what they're signing, like they signed DJ Academics, right? That's gaming and entertainment. So I think that, they're going that route with some of the signings, or really big signings. And I can't be mad at that, right? They're not doing small signings. They're not doing, and this is something I've told companies before. I said, you could sign one large account, or you could sign 100 accounts in a community. And I've advised them to do the latter. Like, why go after Academics when you can get the Hoteps? You sign all of us. I think and then other groups, right? So I would rather get my impressions by signing a bunch of different people. Now, of course, this might be a logistical nightmare for payroll, HR, management. Definitely going to be more work. But there's a discussion that could be had there. But yeah, I couldn't see Rumble signing. I couldn't even see them signing me. I couldn't see it. I just don't do those numbers, right? Like, my demographic is mostly like high intellect people, and I think they're going after people who, and not to say that it's low intellect, but they're looking for small brain content, the grifty content, because that stuff gets the clicks, it gets the numbers. What I do doesn't get the clicks, doesn't get the numbers, so they're going after numbers. So I couldn't see them signing the Hoteps. It would be dope, I would do the deal, but I couldn't see it happening. We just don't do those type of numbers. They're looking to sign people that got millions of subscribers. Jonah Ryan, NYC is an island, send them all there. Jonah Ryan, Rapido negotiated the contract and did not meet the premium she thought she would, then sued over the contract they negotiated. Yeah, that's kind of wild. Yeah, Eric, I talk a little too spicy too. Yeah, absolutely. K gifted 5 Hotep Jesus memberships. I had to give you five horns, 5 Don DeMarcos for the 5 what's the name? But also, like what I've said in the past too, with signing talent, was like, I would have a more long-term outlook on signing talent. I wouldn't look at the numbers that they're doing now. I would want to lock them into a contract based upon their trajectory. Like, I don't have millions of followers now, but the Hotep's trajectory is like within the next 5 years is millions of followers, right? That's just the trajectory that we're on. So it's like, why wait 5 years and then sign us, because we're going to be asking big money by then. We're going to have our own platform by then. I won't even sign a deal. In 5 years after we get millions of subscribers, I wouldn't sign a deal. I'd just create my own network. So instead of them, and this is what I said to some platforms, I said, yo, go after people that are like on the rise, like people that are coming up instead of people that are established, and you can save a lot of money. And that way in 5 years, you've already built that relationship, and I'd be less likely to go do my thing, and I'd stay with them. We built together, and then you kind of get it cheaper. But again, a lot of people don't think long term. This is why China wins, because they think long term. But again, I don't know what's happening in the Rumble offices. I don't know their goals. And sometimes when you're dealing with VC money and startups, they're trying to sprint. They're not doing the marathon. They got, you know, board of directors, VCs, angels. They got people they got to answer to. And those people are going to look in 90 days and go, how much have we grown? They don't want to hear that, yo, we're going to be great in 5 years shit. They don't want to hear that. They want to sprint. But then you get companies like Twitter where they're not profitable because you sprinted and you didn't take the long-term approach, right? And isn't that the name of the game, is be profitable? But the thing is, you know, the VC game isn't really about making profit for the company. It's about making profit for the shareholders. And really what happens is, for example, if you come in at let's say you make an investment in Series A. Well, if they have another round of funding, your shares have gone up in price and you can sell them in the next round, and the company doesn't have to be profitable in order for you to make your money. You can get out at Series C or Series D or Series Z or however many rounds of funding they have, or when the thing sells. So a company can sell all the shareholders and make money, but the company itself won't be profitable. And that's why you have a situation like Twitter, which has never been profitable. Because they've made a bunch of sprints. But at the same time, you can't say that there wasn't some success there, because Twitter's just a giant. It's a beast right now. And sometimes you got to make a sprint like that. So again, like these are, you know, I'm just laying things out there, and I'm not saying that Rumble's wrong for the decisions they're making. I'm just saying I'm not in those offices and I don't know what their goals are. And you have to make decisions aligned with your goals. This is what it is, right? I wouldn't want to tell Rumble how to do their business. I don't want them problems, because it's a social network. Like I told you guys, social networks like headaches, man. It's a freaking headache. You know, so many variables and things to think about. But that being said, you know, to answer your question, I'd love to do a deal with Rumble. I'd love to do an exclusive deal with Rumble and work with them and really blowing out our brand, and I think it would be helpful. I just have a feeling that, like, we just don't. Personally, I'll speak for myself. I think that I'm not biased enough for many platforms. I think many platforms want that hard right or hard left. And I think that's why various platforms don't ask to speak to me. They're like, I don't want to speak to Hotep Jesus. He's not going to give us the content we need, because I just don't generate clicks. My content doesn't generate clicks. I'm fucking boring because I tell the truth. I'm fucking boring because I'm objective. I'm fucking boring because I don't take a side on things. I don't go hard right. I don't go hard left. That doesn't generate clicks. You need somebody like Jesse Lee Peterson who's going to say something outrageous. You need somebody like Candace Owens who's going to say something outrageous and really get people riled up and inflamed. And I don't know. I'm just not interested in that. It doesn't move me. And if something doesn't move me, I'm not going to do it. I got to be honest with you. I can't front. I just wasn't built like that. I wasn't raised like that. I wasn't raised to front. I'll play the game. You know, I'll play the game, but I got to play the game how I want to play it. I'm not playing the game being a complete sellout and compromising my integrity and my morals and how I want to live my life just for the sake of making it. I think I can do pretty well for myself being a balanced approach. And I think that's my niche, right? Like, I've had people who've come to me and said, I had a homie, wait, somebody calling me? Okay. I had a homie say to me, he had friends that were saying they can't find an outlet that just calls it down the middle. Everybody's either hard right or hard left. And they're like, there's nobody that calls it down the middle. And that's because it's just not that profitable. That's why nobody will do it. So they say, yo, it's because you don't know about the Hoteps. You don't know about Hotep Jesus. And then that's what my following becomes. My following becomes people who want an honest, balanced take. You know, normal people. You know, people that aren't brainwashed. So salute to you guys. Eric Santos says, I don't know, I think you appeal to a lot more people than you think. No, I agree. I definitely think I appeal to a lot of people. But there are only a few large outlets, and those few large outlets have an agenda. And I'm not saying they're wrong for having an agenda. I just don't fit the mold of that agenda. But for the corporations and organizations like Syscoin, I fit Syscoin. Syscoin wants to be a balanced approach. They want to provide freedom to people. That's what Syscoin wants to do. They want to bring power to people. So we work together. And I think there are organizations out there that want to do that. You know, but I think normal, everyday people want to hear the truth. Somebody asked me to define normal. Normal means not brainwashed, not, not, and there's a difference between normal and normie. Like being a normie is just like you just follow whatever the news says, right? Whether it's left or right. menofwater.com, exactly. Shout out to Kamar. Natasha Kayleen says she's about to take a master focus. Salute. But yeah, it's just I think there are many people out there that want a balanced approach, and when they find me, they're like, yes, this is what I want. God damn, Jimmy Das Hotep just gifted 20 memberships. Yay. How many people we got watching on Rumble right now? Speaking of Rumble. 57 watching on Rumble. Shout out to my people over on Rumble. Appreciate you watching. Damn. Please tell me you gifted Natasha a membership. Gift Natasha one. Somebody give Natasha a membership, please. Damn. Somebody said Men of Order were super fire. Men of Order is another one of those, organizations or corporations or outlets that feeds people that real. It's not that old, we're pushing an agenda stuff. Look at what you see on Men of Order. Let's pull up Men of Order. Let's put that on your screen. Let's look at what Men of Order feeds its people. Let's look at the articles on Men of Order. We're not grifting. You might get a couple of articles that might have to tell the truth of what's happening politically. But most of the content on here, like somebody asked, where's the self-improvement content? It's right here. It don't get the clicks. Anthony Bailey, your guide to a 6-figure salary. How to pick the best antivirus software. Homeschooling. I wrote this. I have a whole series written on homeschooling. Homeschooling. Socialization. Ann Bailey wrote something on the UFC. Kamar, 5 ways to use a Raspberry Pi. Again, intro to homeschooling. We got a money section. We got a dating section. We got a mindset section. Shout out to Andy Eversole. 3 secrets to controlling your sexual energy. Tech section. Culture section. We talk about the Trump stuff too. We got that there. But it's not all we're about. We got a sports section. Click on the money tab. What do you see? 6 principles of personal finance. Ant does a great job with these money articles. Easy ways to boost your earnings. What AOC doesn't know about money. We're teaching people. 5 potential causes of a Great Depression in 2023. Bear market versus bull market. What they mean. Let's go to mindset. We got a whole category of mindset. Stoic NBA players you can learn from. 1 natural way to keep your brain healthy. As you can see, Master Focus. Did you take your Master Focus today? Try masterfocus.com. Feeling fat? 4 important reasons to exercise. So we're giving people what they need. Now, if we wanted to do clicks, if we wanted to create a clickbait, this whole thing would have been filled with the Bud Light kid and all of that stuff. It's not what we do here. It's not what we do. We don't do complaining. We don't come on this platform, how to raise strong sons. We don't do complaining on this platform. We don't do it. We give people that real. So if you want that real, you can come to us. And you know what's funny is we're playing a long game. Because at some point in the near future, people are going to get sick and tired of being fed garbage. They're going to be sick and tired of being fed garbage. They're going to be sick and tired, and they're going to need some place to go. Why is monetization off on this? YouTube be playing games, man. But people are going to be looking for that, and they're going to go to the Hoteps, they're going to go to menofwater.com, and it's going to be there, and they're going to be like, "Yo, I was looking for this." This is what it is. This is what it is. Jimmy Das Hotep gifted 10 more memberships. He's like the white Oprah.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Oh, man. You get a membership. You get a membership. You get a membership. You get a membership. Welcome to the membership program, y'all. I don't know, man. I see a lot of stuff on my timeline that doesn't impress me. I see a lot of biased opinions. I'll show you something. I'll show you a bias. I'll show you a bias. I'll show you some good grifting. Let's pull this up. Let's pull this up. Let's see here. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. Found it. Let's pull this on your screen. This tweet right here. All right. Leah Halpern says, Andrew Tate and Jordan Peterson are the two best things to happen to modern men. So this guy goes, how so? I don't dislike them, but I definitely say they aren't anything I'd use a superlative for. They are guys with strong opinions, and some I agree with for sure. To say they're the best thing to happen to modern men is overreaching. Traditional dads are the best thing, in my opinion. What this guy doesn't understand is you got to respect the grift. You got to respect the grift. She knows there is equity in the names Andrew Tate and Jordan Peterson. There's equity in these names. And if you could dick eat these guys long enough, you too can become great. So there's an industry of dick eating Andrew Tate and dick eating Jordan Peterson. So when I see stuff on this, I saw this tweet because I saw the guy I follow. He responded to it. And I just looked at it like I would never respond to one of her tweets like that because this woman she's like an A-tier grifter. I follow her. She follows me. We know each other. And I'm not saying this is an attack towards Leia. She runs a grift account. She's grifty. And I'm not saying that's wrong. She's in the business of being an influencer. And when you're an influencer, you're grifty. I'm grifty. Uncle Hotep is grifty. So my beef isn't with her. And I don't really have a beef with Coach K. My thing is Coach K doesn't understand the grift. He doesn't understand the grift. Like, what? Why would you say that? Well, part of the grift is to be hyperbolic. Right? Andrew Tate and Jordan Peterson are the two best things that happen to modern men. That's a genius tweet. Because it's so hyperbolic. You know, if you're dick eating Andrew Tate or Jordan Peterson, you're going to hit the retweet button and go, yeah, this girl gets it. Right? You're going to say shit like that. And if you hate these guys, you're going to be like, yo, what the fuck is she talking about? Right? But if you watch the timeline, like I do, you just see the grift. You're just like, oh, okay, that's your opinion. That's cool. And you just keep it moving. I would never respond to that. I would never respond to this tweet. Right? So you see the quote tweets here, right? Agreed. Ironically, they are opposites. Absolutely. And I would never like come on my channel and say like, you know, are they the two best things to happen to modern men? First of all, that's a subjective thing to say. How do you measure the best things to happen to modern men? If you ask me, the best thing to happen to modern men would be the Hoteps and menoforder.com.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
Because it's subjective. I can't say she's wrong and I can't say she's right. These are her opinions. Then you get this guy said, why must the people worship these false gods? I think the haters make them gods too. Right? This guy says, not sure why Andrew Tate should be bunched in with Jordan Peterson. Tate said, it's good to cheat on your wife. That's not conservative at all. And it's the same time of hedonism that libs partake in. And the reason why Andrew Tate is bunched in with Jordan Peterson is because they're buzzwords. Andrew Tate is a buzzword. He's transcended being a human being. He's now a buzzword. He's an industry. Jordan Peterson hasn't reached Andrew Tate level, but he's an industry. And once you get to a certain point, you become an industry where people can grift off of your name. I can't wait to reach that level. I can't wait for somebody to write Hotep Jesus and Men of Order, or the Hoteps and Men of Order are the two best things that happen to modern men. I can't wait for somebody to tweet something like that. Would I say they're wrong? No. Would I say they're right? Yeah. Because it's subjective.
Hotep, you're a genius. HotepJesus.com.
I just don't understand why people respond to it. Well, I understand why they respond to it, but I would never respond to that. Somebody says Joe Rogan. I would definitely put Joe Rogan over both of those guys just because of his reach and what he's done for many people's careers and my career as well. And I would never say anything bad about Andrew Tate or Jordan Peterson. I would never say they don't warrant this type of adulation. I would never say that. It's not my style. It's not my style to just be like, you know, hating on another man and saying, oh, why do you guys like him? Why do you like them? If you like the motherfuckers, you like the motherfuckers. Natasha finally got one? Let's go. If you like Andrew Tate and Jordan Peterson, fucking gorge out, man. Gorge out. You know, everybody likes somebody. Said Jimmy must have got that check in the mail. Yeah, Jimmy got his Jimmy got that tax refund. Hotep, you make me like y'all again. I appreciate you. That BLM stuff really messed up that relationship. What? BG, call in. 202-596-5631. I need to hear from you. I'm about to leave in a second here. But call in and explain what you mean by you make me like y'all again. How'd you stop liking us? That BLM stuff really messed up that relationship? I need you to call in. I'm gonna put the number in the chat. I need you to call in. And I need you to stand 10 toes down and explain to me why you stopped liking us. Somebody at that person, BG, at BG, and tell them call in. I want to hear from you. I want to talk this out. I want to know how you went from liking me to not liking me to liking me again. Call that number. Over BLM? Over Black Lives Matter? This is where we had a falling out? Were you one of those people who followed me before BLM, and when you saw me criticize BLM way before the right criticized BLM or even knew what the hell BLM was?
Call from
BG.
Yo, BG, what up, man? Talk to me, man. What's going on here, bro?
What's going on, bro? How you doing? I called you before, man. I'm the one who talked about Tony Martin in Delaware and shit like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember. So tell me, what do you mean like this again?
Well, because there was a narrative to create a race war, and it was making me hostile that you guys were falling into it. And
How are we falling into
white
that?
People were falling into it. Well, because emotional responses, man. When Floyd got the knee on the neck, I believe that was all done on purpose. It's like they locked us all down from the virus. Everyone got hot, and then they killed that guy on purpose as like a ritual for the country to see that.
Yeah.
To get everyone to get heated, right?
Yeah.
And then just the idea of how they've been able to turn this color revolution into an absolute, complete overthrowing of the country.
Yeah.
It made me kind of upset that you guys were used for it, and kind of fucking sucked.
How
right?
are we
and,
used?
Just the emotional responses are across the country of what you guys did. It was a color revolution. You guys
When you
helped
say
out-
you guys,
helped
who are you talking about?
the black community, the African American community. Because you guys were being brainwashed by the liberal Jews, man.
Hold on, wait a second. We can't use that language on my channel. Respect the platform.
Terribly sorry about that.
Respect the platform. You want to do that stuff, you go do that on, I don't know, Nick Fuentes' channel or wherever they stream at. Please don't do that over here.
Terribly sorry about that. I won't do it again. Gotcha.
Y'all, the black community, were caught up emotionally by the George Floyd situation.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But then again, there really isn't that many figures out there really trying to speak some common sense into the public, right?
Yeah.
And I appreciate finding you, because you're one of them, and you make me really, really happy that, you know, my short-tempered thinking, my emotional, you know, angered thinking, to make me start thinking negative thoughts about, you know, the whole researching the genetic idea of how, like, maybe you guys might actually not have the genetic. There's actually like a genetic difference in the brain structures of white people or European people and African people. So I got into that type of research.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of it like, you know, maybe there's always the outlier. Maybe there could be that miracle sense of, like, you know, that all could be wrong, and, you know, I gotta give it the benefit of a doubt. And you give me that hope. You feel me?
So when
really
you
nice.
said, you know, I like y'all again, you're talking about black people. So I guess you went from a point where, like, you know, black people are cool, to I don't like black people, to now Hotep has given me hope for black people.
Basically, yeah.
Interesante. Can we talk about that?
Fantastic.
Can we talk about that?
Talk about what?
What I just said, how I described how you feel.
Yeah, absolutely. We can talk about it.
Okay, let's dive into that.
Sure.
So you felt that way because you felt the black community was caught up in the propaganda.
To a certain extent, I think everyone's being brainwashed by the massive psyops that are going on. There's multiple going on, but still, it's still the divide and conquer thing. It's just race baiting, and everyone's falling for it, you know.
So, with that being said, you'd have to admit that you fell for the brainwashing too.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. As long as you can admit that, that says a lot about your character. You have a great character that you can admit that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
it's growing, it's evolution, man. You got to just keep evolving and moving, and you have to be able to pivot, you know?
Absolutely. I love that. Yeah. And so, you know, I think that's what it is, right? You saw the George Floyd situation, which was created to divide people. It was created to make black people hate white people and white people to hate black people. And that's part of what you fall for, because they gave you very narrow view into the black community based upon that event, right?
To a certain extent. I mean, I grew up in a poor part of town, anyways. Like I grew up in that whole situation.
Okay.
Yeah. I used to, you know, race the boys, you know, barefoot in the hood all day. You know, my neighbors. You know, that's the way I was raised. I was like one of the only white boys in the neighborhood.
And
so, I mean, I got to experience it.
So, what was that experience like?
You know, just a lot of hostility, a lot of violence, but
towards you specifically.
No, just in general.
Okay.
Just in general. I mean, the only thing that happened to me was, like, you know, my mom fucked some, sorry about that, had sex with some guy, and then buddy came in and just, like, ransacked my crib when I was a kid.
A black guy?
Yeah.
Okay, so your mom was, had relations with a black guy, and he came in and ransacked your crib?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's got to be one hell of an experience.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that, first of all.
Happens,
so this could give you a poor impression of, you know, certain types of people, et cetera, et cetera. And that makes sense.
It allows the stereotypes to play a little bit larger. You know what I'm saying? Like they play a bigger impact. You know, you're actually, you kind of actually judge people by the cover of the book. You know,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Instead of the pages in between the covers. The chat wants me to ask you, what's your stance on reparations?
I believe that, I guess reparations should be the education. Look at the lifespan in Africa. Look at the actual amount of money they make yearly or just in their lifetime in general. I think you guys are better off living here than you would be over there. So I think just being blessed to live in America is enough reparations, because then it's up to you and your own choices that you make in life to determine how rich or how poor you become. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are a wealthy individual. You seem like you are, or at least you want to be in that aura. And then you still got your friends, relatives, and neighbors like being depressed and like misery loves company kind of thing, bringing everyone else back down. You still know people that do that. You know, I know people that do it. I used to be one of those people. I'm trying to move on and grow up and shit like that. So it's all good.
You think black folks will be better off here than Africa?
Yeah.
Because of income level.
The opportunities. Yeah. You're given way more opportunity. Yeah.
Wow. I would disagree. Because, for example, black people live horribly in America in various different ways. And the first thing I'm going to refer to is diet. Okay? The number one killer of black people is heart disease. You don't see that same thing happening. McDonald's ain't killing Africans. Okay? We probably would live longer, many of us, in Africa with a traditional African diet. Do you know the lifespan of somebody who lives in one of the tribes in Africa? Because, you know, you're talking about, I guess, city life people versus the slums versus a tribe, like the Maasai tribe. Are you familiar with the Maasai tribe?
Vaguely, general assumption. I would guesstimate like an average age of a healthy tribesman. I would think we're talking upwards in the 90s to almost 100 years.
Yeah. So that's my issue. Like when you say Africa, it's like, which African? You know, people who are closer to places that have been colonized or pillaged because of colonization. You know, also, I'd prefer to live in Africa. My goal is to live in Africa. And mostly because they have better food. It's fresher, right? In America, we're forced to eat GMOs, and the options of food are much smaller when compared to Africa. So that's why I say I would disagree. Standard of living, et cetera, you know. And, you know, a lot of stuff comes back to, like, my philosophy on technology, right? And my philosophy on technology, have you ever read the industrialization paper by Ted Kaczynski?
Excerpts of it, not the whole entire thing.
Okay.
But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about, right? Where man, because of industrialization, has become unhappy. So when we look at a place like Africa and we compare it to America, Americans per capita are on way more anxiety drugs. They're not happy, they're depressed. Whereas you could take a kid from a village in Africa and he might not have everything you have, but he's probably happier. He ain't on meds. I mean, he's got access to ivermectin. He's got
that was amazing. Yeah. The hydroxychloroquine.
He's got access to hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah, man, that was incredible. Yeah.
Right?
Did you get that research paper? Did you get the research paper about the hydroxy, like well before the media broke and started saying it was bad? There was a leaked document about it. You get that paper?
I know what you're talking about, but I haven't read it. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that saved a lot of people's lives, man.
Yeah, but when we looked at when the pandemic hit, Africa wasn't dying, and that's what the media was like, how come Africans aren't dying from COVID?
Yeah, it was the hydroxy.
Niggas was dropping like flies. Excuse my Greek. Black folks was dropping like flies when the pandemic hit. So when you say, you know, we'd be better off in America and Africa, I'm like, Africa, we had choices when the pandemic hit. You know what I'm
absolutely.
saying?
I mean, what I would hope for is that we could all unite to understand that there's a common end land. It's usurping this the ideology and the culture of America, and they're destroying it piece by piece, methodically. And we have to come together and actually stand up and fight against the thing. The problem is we don't know who the main enemy is. We can't find the proper head to cut the head off to kill the Hydra. You know what I'm saying? Because once all the heads pop out, which has already happened, now you have to find the right one that actually is going to stop the heart.
I get what you're getting at, but to me that sounds like bitch assness.
But I mean, we're all being killed on purpose. You have to understand that the fentanyl overdoses and the meth epidemics and stuff like that, that's done on purpose to kill off all the white folks. Maybe you have the diabetes and the Planned Parenthood and now these viruses killing off the indigenous, Hispanics, and black folks. There's just ruthless entities around the world just trying to kill every single person in America, whether you're white, black, Jewish, or not. You're going to be messed up by it because there's just everyone around the world hates this country. So if you're in this country, indirectly, you're going to be blamed for it. They're not just going to say, no, it's the politicians. We just hate the politicians, not the people. It's like, no, they hate the people, the politicians, the land, everything, right? And that's where we're just being victims to, right? Inevitably, it's going to come to Africa in the form of, financial enslavement when China comes in and says, yeah, we're going to build you a town and a port and all this other stuff. But then when you guys can't pay for it, they're just going to own everything, all your resources, even you guys at the same time, which inevitably that is their goal. Their goal is to do that anyway. So, but
hold on. My coupon code for Hotep Con expired and somebody just made me aware. So I just updated that. Thank you for making me aware of that. I failed to pay attention to that detail. So you mentioned, coming together, right? And I think coming together is how you make the eight-headed monster or whatever, the Hydra. This is how you make it obsolete, right? You have to starve it, right? And I think that's the better way. You don't chop its head off. You just starve it, right? And to come together is you don't destroy the Hydra. You destroy ignorance, right? And that's my point of my platform, is to destroy ignorance. So when you say things like black people are better off in America than Africa, it sounds ignorant. And you don't help the cause, you destroy the cause. You sound crazy. I just don't want to sound racist in saying that I do agree, and I would love for every single black person in America to go back to Africa. Like the reparations that I truly, truly want is I will gladly pay $50,000 out of my pocket if I'm able to revoke your citizenship, put you on a ship, and send you to another country in Africa, probably after we take a DNA test and see where you actually came from, and then put you back there and give you $30,000 in cash and say, never come back to this country, God bless, and good luck. Okay, I would love, that would be my pure form of reparations. If I was going to pay thousands of dollars out of my pocket, it would to buy you a plane ticket, revoke your citizenship, and send you back. I just don't want to sound fully racist in the sense of like, yeah, I totally 100% agree that you guys would be better off in Africa. I'm just saying America's still a great option too. I just don't want to say like, get out of here, because that's not right to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, technically, I would rather have the Jews go than black people. I'd rather have the Jews go first. Again, please respect the platform. You know how they get on this stuff, all right? But let's talk about that, right? The go back to Africa thing.
Yeah.
That too sounds ignorant as shit, right? Because why? Why should black Americans go back and not white people go back to Europe?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't really want to say those things. You know,
no. Answer that question. Like, if we're going to be real here, if anybody's going to go back anywhere, the Europeans should go back to Europe first. No?
Yeah, but how did?
I mean, you got here last.
They had a fight, right?
You said what?
They had a fight to stay. They had a fight to stay, right? So they actually fought wars to earn this land. So technically, the only way for them to go back is if you have to fight them back off of it to get them back over there.
Yeah.
It would be like a tit for tat.
Yeah, that's a good point.
What's kind of happening right now with the invasions and the drugs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Kind of like what's happening anyways.
Right. But if you're not happy with America because you have those that cannot be named and you have black folks, why don't you just go back to Europe?
No, because it's actually worse over there.
Oh, it's worse. Why is it worse?
Yeah, it's way worse. Because the same policies that were being implemented during the Weimar Republic is now going across the entire continent of Europe. Okay,
so those policies are being implemented in Europe. They're being implemented in America. But you told me, that we're better off in America than in Africa. So it's like you're talking out two sides of your face.
I kind of say that you guys would be better off here because of the amount of education and the amount of exposure, and living with the other races, you could definitely take a lot more. Like, I would think that you go to, South Africa or whichever country, it doesn't matter. You would have probably a higher IQ and more experience in life to be able to control and to maybe own a business and to do all these things besides them. Like, if an American black would go over there, they have more potential of like owning a business and running things, because most people don't. Like, when they kicked all the farmers out of one of the countries, like, they started starving to death because they forgot that they don't know how to grow food or whatever. I don't know what happened, but I just know they had to bring them back, and that's kind of messed up. So, I mean, if the African Americans with that information, that education would go over there, that would be freaking awesome. It's a win-win for everyone. It's just right now I want everyone to unify because we have a common enemy at hand,
I don't agree we have a common enemy. I don't have an enemy. Let's talk about education, right? At the same time that you say, we get better education in America, that same education in America is teaching us about the rainbow flag, and it's miseducating our people.
Absolutely,
and you would agree with
the
that.
Choice. You can have private schools and stuff like that, and public schools, and then the opportunity to do research on your own. As long as you're taught critical thinking skills, it doesn't really matter what school you're or what they're trying to teach you. Just that it's not common.
The education system doesn't teach you critical thinking. If it did, the country wouldn't look this way.
Yeah, I believe that 100%. I dropped out, so yeah, that's why I don't really think the way that everyone else thinks.
You dropped out?
Oh yeah. I'm college dropout.
Wait a second. You said Africans would do better in America if they were able to use our education system, but you yourself don't want to use the education system.
No, not the system. I'm not talking about the system. I'm just talking the opportunity for education in itself, the idea. I'm not saying the system. I'm antithetical against the system, bro. I don't want any systems. I want, individuals to take up their own responsibilities and do it themselves, right? And homeschooling is the way, that's the kind of way that I believe. But I'm just saying the amount of opportunity is way greater here than it is over there, in my personal opinion. I haven't been there, and I would love to go there. I would love to go to the emerald mines and check out the cobalt mines and see the child labor and the child enslavement myself, And, I would love to experience that. Definitely check out the Sahara. And, definitely bucket list worthy stuff. Absolutely. And I love the culture, especially the more original the cultures are, the better. I love it. It's fantastic.
It's just, and this is the ignorance I want to destroy, right? Because you mentioned this opportunity in America. Capitalism, our great economy, the ability to just create a startup and win, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you mentioned the mines. And I'm like, wait a second. You realize that the American dream is not possible without Africa.
Well,
and those
the only
cobalt
way for you
mines.
to have a dream is to be asleep. There's no such thing as the American dream. It's like what George Carlin said. It's like, dude, you have to be asleep to believe in it. There's no such thing as that, man.
You said there was opportunity in America. And what
there still is, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so if there is opportunity in America, that is, and you mentioned the mines, those cobalt mines, the opportunity in America is because of Africa.
All right, the entire world, man. The entire world is have you guys bent over and has been fisting you the entire time. It's not good. The entire world has been doing that for centuries, bro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Cool.
So like that doesn't make any sense. Like those two things just like it seems like you're just all over the place. Like you'll admit that Africa is the way it is because of colonialism. But we should come to America. But reparations should go back to Africa, the place that got colonized by colonialism. When really the conversation is very nuanced.
Yeah, it is always very nuanced. That's why it sounds like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth, man. That's why, because it's always a nuanced thing. It can't be all 100% because it's always on an individual basis. It's like if you try to talk on a collective, you're always going to find that there's going to be another way to say no, hold up. There's always this.
Then
but
you can't
on an individual
say.
Basis,
but then you can't say I'll give you $50,000 to go back to Africa. That's an emotional thing. That's not a logical thing.
No, yeah, absolutely. That's why I didn't want to say it in the first place. But I was just.
But you said it.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So if we're going to
mend,
the way
I was thinking,
Well, if we're going to mend these relations, we got to be careful with what we say, and we got to be right and exact.
Agreed, dude. And that's because of the things that you say makes me so optimistic and very happy. That's what I love, man. You're a highly intelligent human being, and that's why I appreciate you. You know.
Thank you. And you mentioned the whole IQ thing, and I'm just like, I know that's a talking point amongst alt-right or whatever you guys are. These people don't have a high IQ because they're African or whatever. And
no, it's
I
more
don't.
on genetics. It's actually genetics. It's not like because of anything else. It's actually there are specific parts of the brain that haven't fully evolved yet. That's actually where I come from. It's actually there was the physicist who helped create the double helix who lost his Nobel Prize for admitting this fact and reiterating the fact that the reason why that there's this disparity is because of IQ and it's genetic. And he got all of his licenses revoked, and he died
Do you remember what year this was?
Not that long ago, man. A few years ago. I forgot his name. You definitely search it. You can find it. You look up DNA double helix professor revoked Nobel Prize for racist comment. You'll find it.
Yeah.
For sure.
So you believe in this intelligence quotient?
Say it one more time.
You do believe in the intelligence quotient?
Quotient. Quotient? Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. But the bell curve kind of thing?
Well, you mentioned IQ.
Yeah.
IQ stands for intelligence quotient.
Oh, yeah. I really don't pay attention to what IQ actually stands for. I just always knew it as IQ, man. I didn't really dive into it. But yeah. That's from from the examples that I've experienced in school and in life in general, from assumptions and experience. Well, not even from assumptions, because assumptions make an ass of you and me. So it's not even assumptions. From actual things that I've experienced, I can actually see that there might be some relevance to it. Like when I'm in school and I sit there and I go, I know the capital of my state and I know the president of my country, and then my homeboy next to me thinks Miami or wherever the fuck is the capital, and I'm just like, oh well, bro, come on now. I feel bad for you, man. It's not like I'm making fun of you. It's like I feel bad. It's not cool.
So, you said that there's a genetic difference between the European and the African based upon IQ. And you believe that.
It's genetic. I believe it's based off of genetics.
Genetically, as measured by the IQ, right?
Through physical form of the brain, the physical formation of the brain.
Right, measured by IQ. But you don't know what IQ stands for.
Yeah, problem solving. There's two problem solving, man. Problem solving.
This is what I mean, bro. Like, y'all say stuff, and then by your own actions, you disprove it. Like, that's just not an you can't say there's a genetic difference when you keep proving that you have a mediocre IQ at best.
Okay.
Right. So it's not a race thing.
I think I'm better off than like 80 to 90%. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't know, bro. I'm really concerned now.
I've never had to sell drugs in my life. I've had a normal job, have a house, have a car, divorced a couple of times, but it's all good.
So you got the bare minimum.
Yeah, but
you got the bare minimum.
Just like everyone else. The middle class was eroded away a long time ago.
But you said it like it was something great. You got the bare minimum, and you said it like it was something great.
Because at least 30% of you guys are locked up in prison right now. It's not cool.
Have you ever taken the an IQ test?
Long time ago, man. Long time ago.
What's on the IQ test?
It's like pattern recognition and problem solving. From what
Hotep and build. Y'all. Y'all. I had, I'm speechless. I'm absolutely speechless. I just don't understand why people speak on things from a place of authority. And then you ask him a very simple question. Like I mentioned, I said the intelligence quotient, and he didn't know that's what IQ stood for. That to me was concerning. That's concerning. You know, because they run with this whole genetic superiority thing based upon IQ. And then they want to complain about Jewish people, but Jewish people have a higher IQ than them. Is it genetic? Is IQ measured by genetics? And if it is measured by genetics, how did the genetics come to be that way? What's in my gene pool that makes me smarter than him? Does the way you grew up contribute to your IQ? The people you're exposed to? Do your parents contribute to your IQ? And, you know, like, you know, when we deal with these groups of people, you know, I don't know what to call them. Y'all know these alt-right, white nationalists. I don't know these white guys. I don't know what they are. We got another caller coming. I'll take this call real fast. From? Yo, you on the line with Hotep. What up, bro?
Yo, I'm going to speak slow today.
What up, Jonah?
I appreciate everyone who's giving me feedback. It's family trait. I've always done that, but hey. Literally, it was like listening to Margaret Sanger, man. Phrenology.
Yeah, that was definitely Margaret Sanger.
Literally Margaret Sanger, eugenics all over.
Yeah. Yeah, that was straight out of Margaret Sanger's book, correct.
Yeah, especially too with the brain capacity or whatever, the science of called phrenology, I think it's called, where they measured the size of people's brains.
Yeah.
Or people's skulls, that's what they did. They measured the size of people's skulls.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I also have lung disease, if you can hear me choking here.
Oh, God bless.
But that's the whole life. So I look good for 45. I don't care about my lungs.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I don't know.
Yeah,
you know, we have Master Focus, which is a brain pill. And so I've done some research on the brain and come to find out like the size of the brain actually does not matter because you have children who have smaller brains that are smarter than some people who have bigger brains. So like the idea that size of brain or parts of brain, like the whole idea that like this part of the brain controls that, like neuroscience has actually dispelled that myth already. So
and then you have the Buck v. Bell case, and then you also have like where does psychiatry come from? The Rockefellers giving a bunch of money to Nazis. That's the entire basis of psychology and psychiatry.
Right. Correct. Correct.
So if you're going to talk about psychiatry, you're talking about a Nazi science.
Yes. Correct. Correct.
So right there, I mean, but I just had to point that out. Like I was sitting here listening to it, and I'm like, man, this is literally like. This is like Margaret Sanger in 1910. Like these arguments have been defeated.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Although we haven't been defeated her Negro Project yet.
Right.
No.
Yeah. No, we still have not defeated it. That's still alive and well.
Yeah, that's better than ever.
Yeah.
Especially in like New York City or where, right?
Yes, especially in New York City. Especially in New York City. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to call in like you know. A lot of people are listening. You know, maybe they don't go back and read the books of like Mark Sanger and stuff. But this is like literally eugenics 1910 what was being said.
Yeah.
So I just want to call in and say, you know, maybe people need to look into that because then you also know what the argument is.
Yeah.
Now there's also like what it's called. I don't have it at the top of my head, but there's a book on the Library of Congress, which is a great asset. Anyone who wants to do research for Library of Congress, you pull books from like 1700s.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But there's one from there's one up there. It's the family. Is it injurious to the community or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you can definitely see like you go back and see. Pull their white papers or their textbooks with us, like from 100 years ago, when they're laying all these plans out, and you'll just see exactly what's happening.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
No, sorry.
Hey man, go get some water. I appreciate you for calling in, bro.
No, that's a lung disease. I've had it my whole life, so you know, it's
All good. He just hung up, I guess, by accident. Appreciate you called in, Jonah Ryan. Somebody's, mentioned something about IQ tests and critical thinking and creativity. I don't get into the whole conversation. I don't try to tell people that the IQ test isn't legitimate because it's just too easy of an argument. I just like making people make themselves look stupid. And then now we know who has the higher IQ. Because I don't believe race has anything to do with IQ. There was another comment here. Oh, Javier, he said, Tim Pool said you were going into the naughty territory about Jewish people on your last appearance in one of his member sections exclusives. Yeah, I had somebody send me that clip. I plan on going back on Tim Cass and talking about that. Because somebody said, I said black people were the original Hebrews. I don't know where they got that from. And they said there's a bunch of clips online too. It says a bunch of clips online. I don't remember saying that. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. All I know is we got this video. Hold on a second. And if you find those clips, show them to me, please. But here, I'll show you what we did say about Jewish people and blacks being the original Jews. I'll show you right here. Let's put this on the screen. Show you exactly what we did recently, too. We don't got to go back to no old shit. All you got to do is go right here. This video right here, it says Shaka Akmos, Black Hebrew Israelites and Black Jews debunked. I have a video that says the exact opposite. Cited with sources. Let me see if I can find that one slide. Right here. You guys should go watch this video. This is very educational. And you see, put the X through the menorah. No, the menorah is not for black folks. This is what, and you got to understand that I'm a Hotep, which means that we believe that the Egyptians were the original blacks, were originally black at inception, right? And then later on, it became lighter and lighter, right? Under the Ptolemaic period, et cetera, et cetera. And we are actually in opposition to Hebrew Israelites. Ideologically, we are in opposition. Okay? When Kyrie Irving was pushing the whole "we are the Hebrews," I scolded him for that. When Ye did it, I'm like, yo, why are everybody pushing this? I specifically said I did not like that. That's what I said on record. If you go, that was a Rumble exclusive. Go look at my anti-Semitism video on Rumble. The thing is, and that's why I said I don't think I'm wanted on on some of these platforms, because you have people out here that like to conflate Hotep Jesus with other people's ideologies. But these are agents, right? Some agent calls up to Tim Cast and says I said things that I never said, when I have evidence of saying the exact opposite. But these are people that are specifically called upon to destroy me or discredit me, right? There are people with this agenda. They'll make up all types of shit about me, specifically to discredit me, because they don't want me becoming too powerful, because they're afraid of me. So maybe that caller is one of those agents, or maybe that caller is just got me confused with somebody else. But as you can see on the screen, I have a video that says the exact opposite. Some of you were here for that. Some of you were here for that presentation. And I want to find the exact slide that's damning as shit too. Okay, so this is Promise Frank, Ejiofor Scholar-elect, Nigeria, PhD, studies Queens College. So there's a black scholar that Shaka quoted here. And if you look at, yeah, this is the slide right here. It says right here, further, I argue that although belief in similarities between Jews and Igbos predates post-colonial Igbo nationalism, there are scores of racialist writings advanced by European colonizers in pre-colonial times to undermine African cultures. What he's basically saying here is that the idea that black people were the original Hebrews and Jews in this whole movement is actually something created by European colonizers to remove Africans from their traditional cultures. That's what he's purporting here in this paper. Jewishness without Jews, ontological security, ethno-nationalism, and the social power of analogical reasoning in post-colonial Nigeria, published online by Cambridge University Press, August 18th, 2022. So, y'all got bad information. Y'all just got bad information. Now, here's what I will say, just so we're clear on how I stand on the information. Do I believe that the original Hebrews were black? Yeah, I do believe that. But that doesn't mean that every black person comes from Hebrew. And that's what's purported, like all black people are Hebrew. No, I just believe that the Abrahamic religions predate European colonization, and we practiced Judaism. We even practiced Christianity. They didn't call it Christianity. We practiced a form of Christianity, and various spiritual practices. Right. So I do believe originally, yes, it was born out of the African continent. But I don't mean all black people are original Hebrews. That doesn't. No. Do you have the Tim Clash clip, or do you need it prior to you going back? I got the clip. You want me to play it? I got the clip right here. Let's play it. Let's play the clip so you can hear this guy talk about me. Hold on a second. Where is it? Let's go here. All right, right here. Listen. I was supposed to leave a long time ago. It's all good. I love spending time with y'all anyway. Let's go here. Let's pull that up. And it's right. What they say? Yeah. Let's see. Hold on, it's loading. I got it. Hold on. And I'm going to read those last few super chats too. All right, here we go. Now this was like the members only section, but it's on podcast form, I guess. So I guess this is, I don't think I'm stealing here. I hope I'm not. Tim, if this is stealing, I apologize. Why is it not loading? Hold on. Let me reload this, and I'll play the clip for y'all. All right, let me read the super chats while this loads. Jonah Ryan, East India trading, enslaving America with fentanyl, like they did China with opium. George Biden ship, captain for East India. Jonah Ryan, Africa, China, since hunters sold the cobalt. Oh, man. Jonah Ryan, thank you. He said, I finally realized in conversation with Papa Hotep the reason why they went after Kanye on TMZ so hard for his slave comment. People will be asking for the plantation when they have the CBDC. Oh, man, real talk. Real talk. Ethiopia has a good claim. Go watch the video where we debunked that, because Ethiopia was in the crosshair. Shaka just did a debate with the Hebrew Israelites, and Shaka's my mentor. So if my mentor is against the whole idea of, black people being original Hebrews, naturally I probably would be. Now, that's not to say I don't think they should stop teaching it, because, you know, you can teach people whatever the fuck you want. You know what I mean? All we're saying, all Hoteps are saying is, while y'all are arguing about Christianity and Islam and Judaism, Egypt predates all of that. And all of those things come out of the Osirian drama. So we're looking at all y'all arguing over, you know, all of that. And I'm like, you got it from us. You got it from. And then so, but I will go on record and say we were the original Egyptians, the people of Kemet. That's what I will say. Black people are the original people of Kemet. And people will argue with me on that all day. And that's fine. You know, like I said, I love to argue. But we know that to be true. Everyone knows that to be true. And then people will pull up like, oh, what about King Tut? And we just found this mummy and all this other nutball shit. And I'm like, all right, go debate Shaka on it. And nobody wants to debate Shaka on the matter. I'll set up the debate for one of y'all. The thing is, I wouldn't even send Shaka to talk about something like that, because it's just like, it's kind of beneath him. So I wouldn't even want him, you know, talking about that. You know, that's definitely like beneath him to have to talk about, you know, to have to prove, like we're just not in the business to prove who's black, because, you know, after we prove it, you know, what changes? Nobody's in Egypt right now. And you know who fights us on that the most? It's not even white people. It's usually the Egyptians themselves, Arabs. They hate hearing that shit. Boy, they will light you up if you say black people are original Egyptians. Oh, they hate that. Even though Egyptian is a Greek word from Egyptos, so it's not even the original name. You know, the original, in the original language, it was Tawi or Tameri or Kemet. These are the original names for that region. It wasn't Egypt. Egypt is a exonym. And the Illuminati doesn't want me to play the Tim Pool clip, because it just won't load. Just won't load. But this is during the members only podcast. If you guys listen to the Charlie Kirk members only podcast with Tim Cast, you guys can go listen to it. I tried to play it here, but Apple is just being Apple. It's, you know, Apple Podcast. This is why Spotify kicks their ass. I'm going to try one more thing. I'm going to try and pull up a different podcast and play it. Let's see. What happens if I play this podcast? What happens? Okay, so that podcast works. But if I play this, the Tim Pool one, it won't load. Maybe it's not there anymore. No, it's there. I'm looking at it. If I try to play a different episode. Yo, Tim Cast, they throttling. Oh, wait, there we go. Okay, so that episode played. What about this one? Is this one going to play? They won't let me play. Why won't this one play? This is so bizarre. The one episode I want to play is just I don't know. They have pyramids on the moon and Mars, so I mean, I don't know. Eric, I didn't even use the word pyramid. What are you talking about? I said the original people. The original people. Now, if you want to say the original people was aliens, I mean, okay, you know, you can do the ancient alien thing if you want. But then, you know, young Pharaoh gonna come back with, well, the aliens are black. Then what? Now where are we? Now what we gonna do? Wow, I'm really perplexed at the fact that, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna erase the memory on my phone. Let me turn my phone off. If it doesn't play after I reset, hold on, shut up, Siri. If it doesn't play after I reset my phone, then because sometimes you have to dump your memory. So if you turn your phone off and turn it back on. Oh, he brought up pyramids before that. Oh, okay, that's why he said that. All right. Oh, you said random things. All right. Yeah, I don't know. I think people just get so in their emotions about some of these topics. It's but we gotta Young Pharaoh's on Twitch, by the way. We gotta just dispel ignorance, right? And remember what I said on the last episode of Hotep's Been Told You. There are various levels of intelligence, but everyone should be smart enough to know when to shut the fuck up. Matter of fact, I gotta add that to our book. That's gotta be a quotable in our book. We got a book coming out. Men of Order got a book coming out. I can't tell you the title, but I gotta write that quote down. Now this is a quote directly from me. There are various degrees of intelligence, but everyone should aspire to be smart enough to know when to shut the fuck up. That's intelligence. That's intelligence. Okay? All right? Because when you come into my platform and you start talking about things like IQ, and I mention, wait, where'd y'all go? Oh, there y'all go. And I mentioned the intelligence quotient, and you don't know that IQ, that stands for intelligence quotient, then you've passed the point of intelligence. You've passed that point where you got to know when to shut the fuck up. And it's not a diss. It's a correction. It's a correction. How is Young Pharaoh on Twitch? Because he cleaned his act up. He cleaned his act up. He's not talking about the same stuff he was talking about before. All right, let's see if this Charlie Kirk clip will play. Let me see here. I just reset my phone. If this doesn't work, then the lizard people don't want me playing the clip. All right, let's see. Yeah, he's kind of got to build his audience back up on Twitch. Shout out to Young Pharaoh. I interviewed Young Pharaoh on his channel a couple months ago, I want to say. But yeah, like, you know, he's definitely grown a lot. He's not the same Young Pharaoh people are used to. Much more wiser and mature. And yeah, it just the clip won't play. It won't play. Lizard people don't want me playing the clip. They don't want me playing the clip. Is there a watch this? I'll skip Apple. I'm trying too hard for this, by the way. I'm just doing way too much. But at the end of the day, like I said, members only. Charlie Kirk. Let me see if it's on a different platform, and maybe Apple is acting stupid. Okay, here we go. Podchaser. Let's see if we can play it from Podchaser. Play episode. Okay, I got it on a different platform. I have somewhat of an IQ, so I figured out how to resolve this problem. That's called problem solving. Okay, they're playing ads. I should have chosen a different one. I hope this is timestamped so I can go directly to it. Damn, how many ads they gonna play? But like I said, you know, if you're gonna come on my platform and talk about IQ, at least know what IQ stands for. All right, here we go. I got it. All right, here's the clip. Listen to it.
You're resisting a hate crime call,
right?
Because then that would then justify a narrative they don't like,
Which is that, yeah, like
that it's Christians are being slaughtered, because hate crimes against Christians are not exactly in vogue right now. No one likes.
Very much so.
And
have there been any American hate crimes against Christians?
Well, they're all the time.
But has it been prosecuted like that?
I'm sure there has been. Is it most of it's because Muslims or blacks or.
Well, because hate crimes themselves, it's only a relatively recent.
It's a recent phenomenon, yeah, and so.
And also, to prosecute a hate crime is a much higher standard.
Yeah, you have to have total intent.
Right.
Yes, and so.
If I could, I do remember, I don't know if this happened, I doubt it in the United States, but I remember seeing stories about Canada and the UK about people burning churches down.
Yep.
Yeah, in Canada, that's a whole
exactly
big thing in Canada.
Yeah, no one got charged with a hate crime for the burning of St. John's Church outside of the White House.
I think they lied about Notre Dame.
Do you think it was the Islamic?
I don't know about that. I'm just saying, if there, what did they say? Like a cigarette was lit or something, or
That's what they said.
A bunch of nonsense.
And I'm like, we're seeing waves of churches get burned down.
Right.
I don't know who's doing it, but
it's across Canada for sure.
But I don't want to blame, Islam. I blame the left. Like, if I was going to have a conspiracy theory, it would be that leftists are the ones doing it. Yeah. But I don't know for sure. All I know is, if there's a bunch of churches starting on fire, and then Notre Dame starts on fire, my immediate assumption isn't another accident happened.
Right.
Yeah, and so...
Super quick, if I could, my phone is about to die, but I have a request, y'all.
Yeah.
So, I haven't heard this talked about too much exactly, but there's this whole, what people are talking about, a wave of anti-Semitism and whatnot, and from what I've noticed, and I ask this of y'all because I know that you've had Hotep Jesus on before.
We have.
I've seen, it's pretty prevalent in the rap community, and he has a lot of videos pushing the idea that black people.
He said a lot of videos. You heard him, right? He says it's prevalent amongst the rap community. And then he says, I have a lot of videos. This is what the guy says.
And I ask this of y'all because I know that you've had Hotep Jesus on before.
We have.
I've seen, it's pretty prevalent in the rap community, and he has a lot of videos pushing the idea that black people are the real Jews and the whole black Hebrew Israelite ideology. And it's growing and growing and growing from what I've noticed.
Yep.
He's been on all these people's shows, and nobody's asked him about it.
We're not allowed to.
I'm pretty sure that's what Kanye started getting.
We'll get banned from YouTube in 2 seconds.
Oh, is that right? Well, you can't ask somebody about their views?
If Hotep Jesus starts talking, this is what YouTube protects. This is what YouTube protects. This is what Twitter protects. This is what Facebook protects.
Cross-examination of bad ideas.
Not that I'm not super familiar with Hotep Jesus on this one. So that I'll own up to, and maybe we should know that if that's what he's pushing, because I would absolutely push him out on this.
There's bunches of videos of him talking about it.
There are quite a few.
Yeah, because I didn't know that.
I never get really.
I know that he was
offended.
like inching towards it last time I was in the show, and I was like, "What's he trying to get at here?" Like, I didn't know that he. But here, my point is this: it drives me absolutely fucking insane that YouTube protects.
What? What? Did y'all hear that? Now we gotta play that again, yo. We gotta play this again. They just on the platform just lying about me, yo.
There's a cross-examination of bad ideas.
Not that I'm not super familiar with Hotep Jesus on this one.
Yes.
Before
we have.
I've seen, it's pretty prevalent.
Right. Yeah, and so
super quick, if I could, my phone is about to die, but I have a request, y'all.
Yeah.
So I haven't heard this talked about too much exactly, but there's this whole, what people are talking about, a wave of anti-Semitism and whatnot. And from what I've noticed, and I ask this of y'all because I know that you've had Hotep Jesus on before.
We have.
I've seen, it's pretty prevalent in the rap community, and he has a lot of videos pushing the idea that black people are the real Jews in the whole Black Hebrew Israelite ideology, and it's growing and growing and growing from what I've noticed.
Yep.
He's been on all these people's shows, and nobody's asked him about it.
We're not allowed to.
I'm pretty sure that's what Kanye started getting into.
You mad because I'm on all the shows? You mad? You think Greg Gutfeld, who's a Jewish man, would host me? Do you understand that when I went to Tim Pool, I brought special guests with me that you guys did not see because they were off camera that are Jewish?
From YouTube in 2 seconds.
Oh, is that right? Well, you can't ask somebody about their views?
If Hotep Jesus starts talking, this is what YouTube protects. This is what YouTube protects. This is what Twitter protects. This is what Facebook protects.
Cross-examination of bad ideas.
Not that I'm not super familiar with Hotep Jesus on this one. So that I'll own up to, and maybe we should know that if that's what he's pushing, because I would absolutely push him out on this.
There's bunches of videos of him talking about it.
There are quite a few.
Yeah, because I didn't know that.
I never get.
Who just said there are quite a few? So I got to go back on Tim Pool and sort this out in a respectful manner. You know, I'm not really bothered by this stuff because, like I said before, I expect it, right? Like, everybody has a grift and everybody becomes an industry, and I can't wait to become an industry. And this is part of the Hotep Jesus industry that's bubbling up is, you know, there's this rising wave of anti-Semitism and rappers are all about it. And Hotep Jesus has a lot of videos on this, but I got a video debunking it. Two videos. Well, actually, one's a debunk video with Shaka, and the other one's me saying, I'm tired of y'all pushing the Hebrew Israelite shit. Or I'm trying to figure out why the entertainment world, specifically black rappers, are pushing this. I'd prefer not to push the Hebrew Israelite. I think you need to go back to origin and push ancient Egypt was originally black. That's my stance, and I've been honest about that. But yeah, that's the clip you were talking about, Javier. Thank you for tipping me off. Somebody did let me know. People, my squad, my team looks out for me. And I didn't really have, as you can see, like I had that clip. I never played it on this show. I never talk about it and tweet about it. I was just like, oh, wow, they talked about me on the podcast and they slandered me and misquoted me. But whatever, right? So unless you brought that up in the chat, I never would have talked about it. That's how you know it didn't bother me. But now that we're talking about it, I'm talking about it. So I don't know who the two people are that co-signed that. But whatever. Yes, that's what I said, J.A. See, Jay said, you were like, somebody have Ye and Kyrie call the Hoteps to get educated and stop the miseducation. That's what I said. I'm the guy telling the rappers, yo, stop. You sound crazy. That's what I was doing. Surge? Who's Surge? Surge said it? You know, when you're live and you're recording things, sometimes you say things and you misspeak. So I'm always going to give people an out, right? Like Tim Pool said, you know, previously when I was on the show, I was inching towards it. I don't know what Tim's talking about in that. I have no clue what he's talking about in that. I don't remember ever even coming close to a topic like that. I remember pretending to be Ye and walking out. Pretending to be Ye and walking out and then coming back and it was a big joke. I don't remember, you know, inching towards black people, the original Hebrew Israelites. I'm actually like against that. But yeah, thank you, Javier. And thank you for the comment. You said I'm a good man. Thank you. I don't know. I'm just me, man. I'm just me. It's obvious Fed projection to divide the grift inside of the ages. Yeah. I like, who is this caller? Why are people agreeing with him? You know, where's the evidence? He said, well, we all look alike, so maybe he has HJ confused. Yeah, Jay, like, I don't know, maybe it's some other black Hotep, or, you know, because they think all black people look alike, or all the Hoteps think the same. And, you know, I've said that I like some of the work that the Hebrew Israelites do because they know the Bible. I like some of the work. I love seeing people organize. I've said that about the Hebrew Israelites. Like when Kyrie had the issue, and then they protested. Well, they didn't really protest, but they demonstrated at the Barclays. I enjoyed seeing that because although I don't agree with Kyrie posting that documentary about black people being original Hebrews, whatever, he shouldn't be allowed. He shouldn't be kicked off the basketball team. He shouldn't be suspended from playing basketball because he shared a link, right? Like, that's just stupid. So I enjoyed seeing the Hebrew Israelites come and demonstrate. I've said that, and I will never deny that, and I will continue to say that. But I disagree with their ideology. And Shaka just debated Captain Tazariak. And that's my mentor. My historical mentor, Shaka. Let's see, Shaka Akmos. Just so you guys can see this. This is recent. There it goes. And Tazariak is one of the Hebrew Israelite people. Look, watch this. Here. I'm gonna put this on your screen. Watch this. This is recent. Look at this. Right there. Shaka Akmos versus Tazariak. Streamed 3 weeks ago. I think that's the promo video. This right here is the promo video. Last night, was it last night or the night before? Let me go to Side channel. Stream 3 days ago. Shaka versus Tazariak. And they had a panel.
Shaka won by a landslide. I would say I would give Shaka the edge because of his closeout. That's what really closed.
But I said they won because they won that day. I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. As a matter of fact, I think Chris Harris, if he's still on here, I said Chris Harris won against Zion Lex too. Because if you won, you won. It's just a debate. Anybody, any given night, if you train right on any given day, you can win. Like, look at the Giants. The Giants beat the. Okay.
I'm gonna take it back. I'm not gonna say Shaka won by a landslide. I would say I would give Shaka the edge because of his closeout.
He said Shaka won. This is what Sa said. Sa said Shaka won the debate. This is ancient Egypt versus Hebrew Israelites. And he said Shaka won the debate. Now, Shaka's my mentor, and I come from his school of thought. I'm part of the Nile Valley movement. Just seen Shaka a couple weeks ago. Just 2 weeks ago, literally, I hung out with Shaka Akmos to do a lesson, to enrich myself, my mind. This is my mentor. And he's debating Hebrew Israelites. My mentor is debating Hebrew Israelites. My mentor came on my channel and debunked that. So when these people make these claims about what I said and all of this, I'm like, all right, I guess it's part of your grift, you know, respect the grift. But, you know, I just want to put that on your table because I love promoting my homies. And, that's a debate you might want to go check out and go look at the research that Shaka's dug up to debunk the Hebrew Israelites. If you guys want to see somebody debunk it, there it is. There it is. I just gave you the primary source of where I get my information from. He gives me the research, the slides, tells me what to read, the books I get, and I don't even talk about that stuff. I just study on my own. Inside Ada says, I think both are true. Black is not one thing. Now that's a take I can agree with. And that's the take I've had. Where I'm like, you know, to say black people, here's my issue with the black Hebrew Israelites. or one of the issues I have. It's to say we were only that. It's like, no, like we could be Jews, we can be Muslim, we can be Christian, we can be whatever, right? We can practice any faith. It's their faiths, their religions. So to say we were only one thing, I'm like, well, what about the Christians? What about the black Muslims? And what about the Osirian drama that came and birthed all of the Abrahamic religions? Because all those three religions come out of ancient Egypt, right? But, you know, I just want y'all to know, people say things about me all the time. Give me the benefit of the doubt when you hear some shit about me. If you hear some shit about me, give a benefit of the doubt. And I just showed you why you should give me the benefit of the doubt, because often they'll say one thing, but when we dig up the evidence, the truth is usually the exact opposite. But this is what happens when you start reaching people and you get on these platforms. They don't like seeing me get on these platforms. Certain elements of the right wing don't like seeing it, and certain elements of the left wing don't like seeing it. They don't like seeing me get on all these platforms. They mad because I can get on Tim Pool. They mad because I go on Rogan. They mad because I'm on Gutfeld. They mad I'm about to be on Megyn Kelly. See how I did that? Yeah, I'm gonna be on Megyn Kelly soon. They're mad I'm getting on all these platforms. But I'm only getting on these platforms because people like what I say. Normal people like what I say. And I keep it 100. I keep it a buck. I keep it objective. I don't lie to people. I don't just tell people what they want to hear. So, I have a discount code for Master Focus. Use coupon code 10OFF, 10 off for Master Focus. They keep your mind sharp. You know, that's what allows me to read 3 or 4 books daily. I mean, not the whole book, but, you know, I'll read a chapter of this one and I'll pick up another one. I'll study chess for several hours a day. I'll study for these streams, whatever. But I really 10x my productivity when I started taking this this supplement, which is 100% herbal. So try masterfocus.com. Go get you some. We just got a review yesterday. Person just simply said, great product, 5 stars. So yeah, make sure I go check that out. And Kay, I got to get you a link to get you signed up for the affiliate program, so you could so you can get paid for pushing the product. You know, I want to make sure you get paid. We got an affiliate link, affiliate program. You dig? Man, I'm out of here, man.
That Hotep Jesus dude.
I love y'all, man. I'll see you next time, man.
Hotep Jesus? I love that guy. He's terrific.
See you at Hotep Con.
Didn't listen to me then, I bet they feel me now. Tom don't let me lose it. The booth not about to prove it. I set goals and pursue it. You the best to never do it. Invest my money, talking fluent, stupid, ducking the Judas. It broke my heart, but over my eyes, you have no honor, I have no choice. Chasing the commas till I'm a goner. Been left for a minute. On my way home, mama, I promise, got caught up in it. Damn. Everybody eats when I'm batting at the plate. First, second, third, home, $1 million